You should be barricaded in your house and kept off of the street, or sterilized, lobotomized, left in a car in heat, cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells aren't with you, and that is why I hate you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
At first I was like, is he masturbating?
That's
no,
what I
no,
was,
he's
that's what I
lifting
was
the
trying
curtain.
to do. No, I was doing masturbation.
Oh, no! I was
Way up here.
correct.
Yeah, you were correct. It's way
I
up
thought
here.
you were lifting the curtain.
No, I was down here, but you couldn't see it, so I had to bring it up a little higher. But that's more realistic anyway. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. We've got a lot to cover today. I think maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Hooray
know.
being sick.
Yeah, I'm still sick. I'm trying really hard not to snort or cough or anything, so I don't have to try to edit that shit out. We got to get cough buttons or something.
Just mutes.
Get those like mute buttons. Have you seen I've seen them advertised for Zoom meeting. They're like, oh, mute button for your Zoom meetings. If you're too lazy to click the mute button in the taskbar, you can just push this little button on your desk. It's not really laziness. I guess it's more convenience, but it's a good idea.
I can only imagine that if you cough, I guess since there's a delay, that might not be the case, but I imagine like you'll cough and people just get that really sharp edge of the cough before it mutes.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably wouldn't do much better. I mean, I guess it's true. You don't necessarily have a lot of time to mute yourself when you're going to cough. I kind of got the sultry voice going, though. So, yeah, how's it going?
Yeah. Hello, ladies. Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome.
We're going to complain. It's going to be sexy complaining.
I know what I want to open this up with, buddy. Cocaine Bear. Cocaine
Oh,
Bear.
my God.
Did you see that trailer?
Okay, so before a trailer came out, I want to say, at least before I saw the trailer for it, I won't say before it came out because I don't know when it came out.
Right.
Since I like really weird and morbid things, sometime early last year, I heard the story of the Cocaine Bear.
Right, okay.
And was just like, holy shit, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the idea, the real story is alone.
Yeah,
is pretty
nobody
wild.
knows what happened. Like, we all know the bear died, but we don't know what the fuck the bear... Like, we don't know if the bear lived out, like, the movie Crank right before it died. Like, we don't fucking know.
That's true. No one knows.
And so this movie is essentially filling that space.
Right. Yeah, that's more or less. I was watching... Oh, my God, I don't want to admit it, but I think I was watching one of the, the football playoff games, and I hate sports that have to do with the ball.
That's not hockey.
Yeah, that's not hockey. But I like watching playoff games because at the end I get to see one team really sad that they lost and their season is over. It's my favorite part. God. It's the only reason I watch the playoff games because especially the football games, because then one team loses and you see them crying on the sidelines. Oh, I lost this game.
That's why you should watch college finals.
No, I'm only kind of kidding. I
no,
really
college finals if that's what you really want.
Is it better?
Well, because college players always have something to really prove.
Yeah.
And the ones that lose, like you make it to the finals. Your team was kicking ass, and then you get fucking swamped.
I never really thought of it that way. You're right.
Or wiped by the other team. Just
You're
imagine the amount of sadness that's in that locker room. Like that.
I don't know. It's just,
almost not teenaged angst.
It goes back to, and I'm going to talk sports talk. Ready to talk about sports
or
with
barely
me.
Legal teenage angst.
That was my sports jingle.
Oh God.
No, I remember. This is gonna be quick. I don't know how many years ago it was. The New York Rangers, my team, played the Washington Capitals in the playoffs, and the Capitals were up like 3 games to 1. So they only needed one win to progress. And the Rangers won 3 games in a row and knocked them out. And there's just a shot. It's on my photo archive. My photo.
What's with pronouncing it correctly?
My archive of photos of Alex Ovechkin, the star player for the Capitals, sitting on the bench just looking dejected as hell. It's one of my favorite things of all time. He later went on and
you were watching
won.
The playoffs.
Yeah, and the Cocaine Bear trailer came on. It was like, now, the Cocaine Bear trailer. And it came on.
That was pretty good.
And I was like, what? Wait, what? Is this SNL? Or something, and it was like, nope, this is a real movie that real people paid real money to make.
You know what? We need to get back into like B horror movie campiness that's not straight to Tubi nonsense.
Well, I was going to say there's a difference between, Sharknado with no budget and a bunch of B-list, C-list actors just doing something silly, and
Yeah.
what appears to be a silly but fairly legitimate production of a movie about a cocaine bear with
Yeah,
Ray
well, I
Liotta,
find well, that's what I'm
Kerry
saying.
Russell, like real
That's
actors.
B-list. That is what B-list, like B-list movies generally are. Hey, this premise is stupid, but we have some money behind it. Let's take it semi-seriously and see what we can do about it. Because the premise is silly. It's fucking silly.
It's more
but
than
imagine
silly.
being confronted by a cocaine bear. Like, people can't handle crackheads.
I don't know. I can't even fathom the concept of coming across a cocaine-addled bear. I just can't even put it in my head what would happen.
Look, if you came across a cocaine-addled squirrel, that'd be a fucking nightmare.
It's true.
Right? That'd be like
be
fighting
something.
the fetish doll on those like those horror movies, the one with the really sharp teeth.
Yeah.
It'd be like fighting that fucking thing.
I don't know. It's just weird to me that they spend money to make. I was trying to look up the budget when I saw it. I was like, I need to know what they spent on this movie, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It was weird. Usually they're like on the Wikipedia page on IMDb. They'll have the budgets.
They spent enough money to get pretty much a few bricks of cocaine and actually give it to a bear. That was the budget. And let it.
They're just like, all right, Ray Liotta, Kerry Russell, and whoever else is in the movie, just go ahead. So it's not a real bear. It's got a suit.
Hey, so under the job description, it doesn't say actor. It says sacrifice. What does that mean?
That's what happened to Ray Liotta. Now we know. Oh, too soon? It was too soon, I guess. Ray Liotta,
what?
American Treasure. Yeah, Ray Liotta passed away like a year ago now, didn't he?
I didn't know that Ray Liotta passed away.
Yeah, Ray Liotta. I believe it was like a year ago now. You're hearing it here first, people.
Oh my god, that hurts.
Yeah, May 26th, he passed away.
Oh, that fucking hurts.
Oh, yeah, it does hurt. I mean, some of the movies that guy was in that are just, I mean, Goodfellas alone. I mean, that alone is just like...
Fucking Vince in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto,
Vice City.
Tarantino movies.
Just anything. Ray Liotta was awesome.
Yeah. Except for the Chiantix commercials. Those are a little odd.
I mean, it's...
Whatever it's called.
Hey, you know what? Ray Liotta still was like a treasure, as you said earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
Just... Because, I mean, what was it? Fucking... God, from Halloween, the actress. Can't think of her name right now.
Now I just had it, and I blanked on it. Activia, whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking she does Activia.
Anybody listening to this right now is going, you fucking idiots.
It's blank.
It's Lori.
Yeah.
What the hell is her name?
You know what's going to really... True Lies. Like, I know all the movies she's in. I just can't think of her fucking name right now. And unless you look it up...
She's got three names. She's got three names. What's her name?
I'm going to scream it out in the middle of the episode.
Jamie Lee Curtis. There we go.
Jamie Lee Curtis. God damn.
Why did it take me so long to think of that? That's
because it's easy. It was an easy fucking name.
Yeah.
And your brain goes, nah. It just won't remember it.
Also, I like that she just embraced getting old. She was just like, I'm aging. I'm not going to try to like look like I'm 22 anymore. I'm not going to go and get, whale blubber injected into my face.
Now, there's no point. No. Actually, when she's doing the new Halloween films, she's like, no, make me look older.
Well, it makes sense given the context of the films and what they're about with her granddaughter.
I had no interest in the newer films personally.
I didn't. I think I saw the first one. I didn't watch the latter two. But I watched YouTube videos or something about them.
Yeah, you like watch the Halloween Explained.
Yeah, the honest trailers, pitch meetings, everything wrong with those YouTube channels. I like those ones.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one of my favorite parts of finishing a movie. Like we just watched over the weekend, way late, Jurassic World Dominion, whatever the last one was.
The one that nobody really likes.
It's fucking
it's
awful.
Pretty much the Rise of Skywalker for everybody.
It was so bad. It was like 3 hours long. I remember like an hour and 46 minutes into the movie, I was just like, oh my God, I'm glad this shit's almost over. And I like my son now, like he's very into when things are like, he likes knowing. He'll be like, Dad, can I see how much time's left in this? Because he wants to see the progress bar and the numbers. And he's like, an hour and blah, blah minutes. And I was like, what? How is there that much time left? I know. It's like, how is there that much time left in this fucking terrible movie?
This movie has nothing else to say.
it didn't have anything to say when it started, and the plot line made no sense. Like,
wait, didn't this
every
one...
part of the plot line,
okay,
I was just like, why are they doing that? They could just do this.
I played it in the background. Not the movie, but like an explained video of it. So I don't remember much of it. There wasn't much to explain. I just know that it was a lot of nothing. Did they add psychic powers into this one?
No.
Like there was a clone or some shit?
No,
like a clone girl?
Oh, yes, there was a cloned girl. It wasn't psychic powers. It was, and I don't know, maybe they changed it in between movies because she was cloned, and then they realized she wasn't cloned. She was born asexually produced by her mother. Her mother had her own child that was basically her DNA.
She turned her into a mushroom.
Right. It was just like, it's just like the dinosaurs asexually reproduced. Her mom reproduced and made her. But the crux of the movie was that her mother found out she had some fatal disease. This is like what I think they just changed direction in between movies. Yeah. That her mom found out she had a fatal disease and then adjusted her daughter's DNA to not have the disease. And that was like the crux of the movie, was they needed to study her. And it wasn't to save humanity or anything. It was to kill a bunch of locusts because they had genetically engineered big ass locusts that were going out and destroying the food supply. That was the plot of the movie. Not dinosaurs. Locusts.
That would have been like a great plot for the game Dino Crisis.
Yeah, anything else, not a dinosaur movie.
Dumb. It's just dumb.
It made no sense. It was so terrible.
The whole cloning thing literally was a means to an end to us getting dinosaurs. That should never have been like the full focus of any of the movies.
Agreed. Yes.
Because there are dinosaurs. That should be enough. And even when they added the genetic engineering of the dinosaurs, I was like, okay, fine. Like, we're now fucking with their DNA to see what we can get.
Yeah.
But yet, none of them have feathers.
Well, okay, so...
I haven't seen the new ones, so...
Well, in the very newest one, there were a couple dinosaurs with feathers. And I said, does that dinosaur have fucking feathers now? I was like, I think that dinosaur was one of the main dinosaurs in the last one, like one of the big predators. And he didn't have dinosaurs in that, or feathers in that one. And on this one, they gave him feathers.
I was just like, in that universe, they are just lizards. Like,
yeah, like it doesn't
we're
have to be...
We're not basing it on real life anymore.
Because it's not real life. Because there's no fucking dinosaurs. You don't have to make it realistic. You can give them fucking clown makeup if for all I care. I don't care.
You had Christ. A super smart giant? It wasn't a T-Rex, but it was like a raptor. The Indominus Rex or something like that.
That's what it was. Yeah,
like that one fucking was an anime villain. It just kept coming back.
It was like it had all these special powers and shit. They were like, oh, it's got all the features. Oh, it can turn invisible.
As big as that motherfucker is, how is invisibility? You know what? Whatever. Because it wasn't just invisible. It was silent. That's one thing I remember. Like it snuck up on everybody.
It was like a ninja.
How the fuck does it do that?
My wife early on in our relationship, because I'd complain about movies even then. At one point, I remember she just turned to me and was like, listen, with movies, you have to have a willing suspension of disbelief. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? She's like, you have to willingly just go into the movie and say, okay, some things are going to be beyond belief, and I'm just going to accept that. And I try to do that with movies, but this was just too much. I was like, no, it doesn't make sense.
First of all, she's right to a degree, and I'm going to tell her to her face that she's wrong at this level. So I know you're listening. You're wrong. And I'll tell you when we see each other again, and then we can fight about it, and then we can complain about Ryan Toy Review. But you have to have an elasticity to your expansion of disbelief.
Yes.
And so when you go in and you see the preview of the movie, and the movie is about killer clowns from outer space, I can expect that killer clowns from outer space exist because I'm going into the movie understanding that.
Sure.
But then if you're going to also add in that the killer clowns from outer space didn't only do that, but also God and his angels are coming down to battle the killer clowns from outer space, and the angels just so happen to have penis swords. I'm done. My expansion is fucking destroyed.
I cannot make.
I just can't make that. I can't go that far into that universe.
Oh man. Just like Indiana Jones with the alien skull.
The crystal skull?
Just ruined it for me. It's like, you can make a movie about aliens and I'm going to enjoy it. I love alien movies, but you can't throw them into an Indiana Jones movie at the last minute and have me go, okay.
Yeah, you just can't. Some people can, but some people, like my dad's one of those people. He's like, that movie was good. I went, are you fucking serious, sir? Are you him and I fucking argued. God. what movie was it that we like flat out had a straight up argument about? And I
It could
think it was
be.
one of the Star Wars films.
It could be anything because there are so many goddamn divisive movies these days. I don't know if it's
True.
just people are more argumentative or if movies are just getting worse. Probably
Yes.
both.
Yes. Because for instance, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I like if I had to pick a Star Wars film that's my favorite, and this is what's going to make people hate me, Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars film. It has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. It's an in-between film that fits perfectly.
I love Rogue One.
It puts war into Star Wars because you can
Yeah.
talk about all the space battles you want as certain little campaigns, but it's not about the war in
Right.
Star Wars. Rogue One was all about it, and it hurt. It really felt like a war film.
It did.
Stormtroopers actually felt like they were supposed to feel because they're not dealing with space wizards. The closest one was Donnie Yen, and his death was fucking all of it was just painful and beautiful. And then the
Was
introduction of Darth Vader was perfect.
Yep.
Like that was just a great movie.
Yeah, I agree, and I've heard a lot of contrary opinions about how that movie sucks.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't either. I thought it was fantastic. It's you know, now you say it, probably is my favorite too, as far as being the one I enjoyed the most. When I went to see it and I saw it in theaters and I left that theater and went, man, that was good. I really liked that. And I remember seeing the prequels, not the prequels, the newer sequels.
The new sequels, the sequels.
Leaving the theaters and just going, the fuck did I just watch? What was that?
So, you know, we saw like The Force Awakens, which was just like a retread with new characters. And we're like, okay, that's a good start. We're good. The next one, I guess, was
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. A lot of people hated. I liked it visually, but I didn't care for the Luke plot because I have a very specific idea of how Luke would have continued because he seemed out of character. And obviously so did Mark Hamill. He felt that way too.
Right.
But then I watched Rise of Skywalker because my son had gotten into Star Wars for a while and he wanted to watch every movie and he always wanted Dad to watch it with him. Dad's not a Star Wars guy, so I didn't introduce it into my house. He did. And so I'm watching all the movies with him and I was like, you know what? The prequel series, not that bad. Not great, but not that bad. I see where they're going with it. But then I watched the sequel series and I was like, I like Rey, Poe, and black guy that nobody remembers. Finn. I know. Yeah. Just because he basically got written out of the whole story by the time Rise of Skywalker came up.
Well, the second movie, I mean, they had like the B plot of them at the casino that made him and Rose that was just stupid.
And then you find out like his whole mission was for nothing.
Right. Yep.
Like they just wrote him completely out, which was like, he's a stormtrooper, a perception we are never going to fucking see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was completely new for the series. Like, okay, we're going to actually be in the head of a stormtrooper who is now, I don't know, recovering stormtrooper. Yeah. So like that's an interesting perspective. Like, hey, guy who saw the error of his ways and is now fighting against the enemy.
Yeah, he just became more naive and more dumb as the films went on. But then between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker when I realized I fucking hate where they were going. I hated it. I just hated it. And it was as soon as they introduced the weird MacGuffin power that they can like not only talk to each other from galaxies away, but they can transport items.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking stupid. For Star Wars, that is fucking stupid. That is fucking retarded ability. And then they did it so many times in The Rise of Skywalker. I was done. I was like, this is dumb. Even my son, he's 5.
Yeah, they did it a lot.
Yep, he's 5 and went, that's really stupid. I argued with a friend of mine in the middle of Target. We were working. I don't work at Target. I was supposed to be working, but I don't work there. I took him away from work because he went, no, that explains it. And I had to show him the scenes. Like, no, she transported her lightsaber to Kylo when she was supposed to be fighting Palpatine, who shouldn't have fucking been there. And you mean to fucking tell me that this stupid MacGuffin power is cool? That just breaks everything. Yet George Lucas, for some reason, won't agree to Grey Jedi, but that stupid shit is fucking fine. That they're just connected so much that they share quantum space.
If he pulled
that shit out like a video game inventory. Like,
didn't they switch directors like for each movie? And
Yeah.
It seemed like they
It
both
was
were just like,
Abrams in the first one, I think.
I think so. And they
And then
both were just
Abrams
kind of,
jumped out in the second one. He left
yes.
during the second
Then
one.
he came back for the third, right?
I
Maybe
think
I'm
he
wrong.
did, and then it was like 2 or 3 directors for the third one. If I'm
Yeah,
not
it was
mistaken.
just bad because nobody had any direction for the overall trilogy. They were just kind of coming in, going, all right, where are we? How do we get to where I want it to go?
Yeah,
You know?
it's sort of like playing Campfire, but all your friends are progressively
Yeah.
getting more drunk as the story's going on.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's just really, it was just terrible. And I completely agree with everyone hating it. Even like our mutual friend Chris and I, like him and I are very non-dissenters, I guess, where we were like, Batman vs Superman wasn't all that bad, and like we were those people where it's just like everyone hates this movie, we're gonna give it a chance because everyone hates it. Maybe there's a blind spot, but we fucking both agreed. Like we watched the movie like 2 or 3 times. We're like, this is shit. This is a shit film.
Did you watch Black Adam? I haven't watched it yet.
I did with my son in theaters.
Was it good?
You know what? It was dumb fun. It was just, I have to say, the kid, I fucking hated him. I hated everything about the kid. The way he was written, the way he was acted. I almost damn near hated the actor. Like, I hated the kid in the movie. He was just a pain in the ass and did the dumbest shit. And yet, you know, hope and friendship was the thing that got him through.
Always does in movies.
Yeah. The Rock was just The Rock.
I mean,
he was literally...
That's every movie, though.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm saying.
love
He
The
was
Rock.
just... He was mean.
I love The Rock.
He was The Rock, but mean.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just heel Rock then.
Yeah.
I love The Rock because it goes back to the
he's
early days
fun.
of wrestling when I loved wrestling, and him and Stone Cold were the 2 big guys, and he was just amazing and so good. And I've always loved him since then. But yeah, every movie he's in, he's just The Rock in a different costume.
Well, it's fun.
His acting abilities are basically nil. I mean, he just plays himself. He's just himself.
Well, you know what's funny? Because when he broke into acting, he had to try to learn to act because shit just wasn't working out.
What was that? Walking Tall? Was that the first movie he did?
Be Cool.
I don't think I saw that.
Well, Walking Tall was one of them where he had like the 2x4.
Yeah, yep.
But no, Be Cool, I think, was the movie where he proved that he could be funny. Because he was he was the gay bodyguard.
Yeah, but of course he could be funny. He's The Rock.
Was he gay? I don't think he was gay. I think he might have been just effeminate.
He's The Rock. Of course he knows how to be funny. He did that for a living.
But this was before, like, because they kept doing that whole thing, like, in the 2000s, where, like, if you were a wrestler and you went into acting, you had to still do your wrestling bullshit.
Right.
And that's what they, like, you know, The Rock did the Scorpion King, and they still tried to do that shit. He was a CGI monster in The Mummy 2.
Yeah, so bad.
Like, he barely was in the fucking movie. And then, as I said, like, his acting career kind of stopped for a second. Then he did Be Cool, where he played a completely, like, he was skinnier. He had an afro and a mustache, and he was just like, again, he was hyper effeminate, but not in an offensive kind of way. He was just trying to be himself, but he was also a bodyguard.
Right.
So it was just a really funny character for him, and I think that's what turned it around. And it more so he became like a charisma actor, where like you don't have to be a good actor; you just can be charismatic, and people can like you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
because Kevin Hart is a comedian, but his charisma is what really pushed him.
Sure.
And the fact that he doesn't say no. Well, he didn't say no at all at the beginning of his career. He was just like in every fucking movie, being like pushed over and made fun of. And you know when him and The Rock hooked up, that was it. That was like the duo. Like,
of course, they're hilarious. The two of them together are always good.
Modern time.
I mean, even just like YouTube videos of them together, they're hilarious.
But
because he's you got a giant guy with a little tiny guy.
Yeah, The Rock was fine. Like his character was so powerful that he was not even like a character. He was just like a force of nature, and that that sometimes talked, which I thought was funny. They had a scene where he walked through the wall, and the wall looked like it melted. Like he was just fucking walking through shit. Like use a fucking door, and that's how I think The Rock really walks through people's houses. Like he just fucking walks through walls.
Well, that was one of the things of Black Adam, right? He just walked through walls all the time for no reason.
Yeah, just because he could.
Just cause.
But yeah, Black Adam was fine. But you mentioned movies. So, 2 things. My son has been playing Mortal Kombat 11, which I mentioned.
You did, yes.
I did mention earlier. And so, on Hulu, showed him and my daughter Prey.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I had not seen. I didn't see when it came out.
You hadn't seen it? Prey was
and I
excellent.
fucking love it.
Yeah, movie's fantastic.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out.
I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, so I'll be really short with this. I'm glad that they did the whole film in Apache as well. I think it was Comanche. They did the whole film in Comanche as well, which I think is great.
I didn't know that, but that is great.
Yeah, like if you look in the extras, they have the film, but the characters are speaking Comanche, which is like that means they filmed the movie twice, essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
But I remember like hearing the outrage of the characters speaking English. Like there was this internet outrage, about it, and then I'm watching him like, you know what? This is fucking stupid. As I'm watching the movie, like it's really stupid because the characters aren't speaking like Comanche and English. English is us hearing them speaking Comanche.
Right.
This is how I know this because the French who were there were not subtitled. There was no subtitles for them.
You're right.
You could only guess what they were saying.
Right.
So from our perspective, we were perceiving them speaking a language we could understand.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
So
it's not
thematically...
not that they were speaking English, it's that we just understand what they're saying. They're speaking Comanche, but we are able to understand it.
Exactly. The culture, all that's the same. They're just speaking English because a lot of people, like myself, cannot read and fully pay attention to what's on screen.
No, agreed. Yeah, it's
because not all dialogue scenes are just two people sitting across from each other. People are doing things as they're doing stuff as they're going through. I have dyslexia. I have a hard time doing that.
Well, it's funny that you put it that way because I go back and forth on how I feel about those things. Like as far as like subtitle stuff, like I watched Parasite when that came out. It was super popular, excellent movie. But I watched it with the subtitles because I wanted. It was just in that particular movie. I wanted to be able to experience the actors acting. Like it was a serious drama, not drama. It was like a psychological dark comedy thriller. But I wanted to experience the actors actually acting. I didn't want these overdubbed voices. But then I'll watch. I love Jackie Chan movies. I'll go watch old Jackie Chan movies, and I prefer them dubbed because there's so much action going on. I just want to know what they're saying. What they're saying isn't as important as what they're doing, and I want to be able to pay attention to what they're doing without having to look at the subtitles all the time. Yeah.
My thing is, like, we don't treat that as an accessibility thing. We treat it as, like, being lazy. Mm-hmm. I am almost incapable of learning another language. I barely know the language I'm speaking. I have a hard time, like, grasping shit like that. I always have. Right. Not everybody can learn another language. Hell, dub my English speaking ass into whatever language it needs, as long as the point gets put across. Well, yeah. That's my only thing. When you change language and dub it, and then they're not saying even remotely what's really being said.
I think with Squid Game, I remember hearing a lot of, like, I watched Squid Game subtitled as well. Same reason. And I remember reading a lot of people complaining that the English translations were really poor in the dubs.
Yes. I remember hearing that too.
And the same thing. I was like, well, I wanted to experience the acting. I wanted to hear the actors as they were when they were performing the scenes. I don't know. I don't get the outrage. I mean, over something like that. Like, film the movie in the language that's going to be most accessible to me. I'm using accessible in a different way now. To me, like, I want to just be able to watch the movie and enjoy it. I don't want to have to read subtitles the whole time, and we're talking about Prey. This isn't like an artsy movie. It's an action movie that you're supposed to just be able to just enjoy the crazy shit going on.
And you know what? And that's really heavily based on writing. Like, again, if you write it as if they are actually speaking their language, you keep that in mind as you're writing your story, right? Then you won't run into the problem where, like, they're actually speaking English, but then they're speaking the other language. That's the same thing. Like when you see a character and they have an accent, that's been the thing too. People are complaining about a character having an accent. I'm like, for instance, if they're speaking Russian. If the characters are all Russian, but they have them speaking English, should they speak in Russian accents?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, I'm not bothered by that.
Well, why is this a thing who cares? just
because people care too much about shit that they can't control.
Like, who cares?
And they say,
It's
well,
like,
we can control it. It's like, but who's it offending? Who's it hurting?
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, who are you offending with this? I don't care. Let them speak. You know what? Just don't do the bullshit where they speak both languages in the same fucking sentence to someone that's speaking.
Yes.
You know, it's two Russians and they're speaking English to each other with Russian thrown in here and there.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me nuts. I'm just like, just keep it one language.
No, I agree.
You don't have to throw in or Spanish is the worst offender. I watched Ozark recently, and oh my god, whenever they had the scenes in Spanish, they're constantly going back and forth. Like I'm not gonna get into it, but there's two characters that are both in Mexico speaking English to each other and then throwing random Spanish lines in. I'm like, stop.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because I growing up I dated a lot of Hispanic girls. Well, at least most of my girlfriends at the time were Hispanic. Not that I just went around dating Hispanic girls.
You did. You collected them like ponies.
But I ran into that problem, and I didn't have like subtitles in my real life. Like they would just be. And I think because I'm in America, that's probably that's a real thing. But they'll be speaking Spanish and then English and then Spanish. Like they won't be talking to me. They'll be on the phone,
right,
speaking Spanish and English. I'm like, how do your brains work like that?
Yeah, I don't know. That'll throw me off.
I don't get it.
I'm trying to learn Spanish again because I took Spanish in high school and I was okay. You know, I was comprehensive, and I've been doing it for a few months now, and I'm starting to get comprehensive. Comprehensive?
A comprehension?
A comprehension.
Or you're starting to comprehend?
I'm starting to comprehend like better. I can't speak well, I mean, writing probably not great, but I could comprehend it pretty well now in general.
Well, that's as long as you can get a gist of it. And be
that's
okay.
That's kind of all I want. You know, I like the idea of just being. I want to keep improving on it and keep working on it. But
I was so proud of myself when I could tell the difference between like somebody who's speaking a Chinese dialect to a Japanese dialect to a Korean dialect.
You got me. I wouldn't know the difference.
I could now tell at least. I don't know like if they're speaking like Mandarin Chinese, but I could tell that there's a difference between that and Korean.
Okay, makes sense.
Korean and Japanese are very similar due to the past, so it's really hard to tell at first, but you can if you get it, because I don't understand it, but I don't want to be offensive like asking outright, because that's a whole can of worms I just never want to put myself into ever again. Asking like if somebody's this type of Asian. I just never want to do that ever again. That was a mistake. And I thought I was being innocent, and apparently I was being offensive.
I think I feel like there's different situations. I feel like if you're asking an American that's, Korean American or something, and you're like, oh, what Asia are you?
No,
it's a little different
than like that.
I know.
Like,
I'm being facetious.
Oh.
But I mean, I think that's a little different than
what
like
Asia are you?
If it's an actual person from Korea and you're like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
I think that's different,
the thing,
right?
like saying where are you from, but that could just again, I think that was they were thinking back on it because I was like a teenager. They're probably taking the piss out of me because I'm a dumb American.
That could be, yeah. Was it a person actually from another country?
It was somebody from Japan.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's wrong. Like anybody coming to visit, I might be like, oh, where are you from?
Well, no, they got mad, but
well, there's a difference between where are you from and what type of Asia are you?
No, I know. See, what type of Asia are you is the type of white person thing to say.
It's a funny line.
Like a old white lady that wears her jeans like past her belly button. She would say something like that.
Hey there, what kind of Asia are you?
You have such beautiful eyes.
I got a funny story.
I just love them. They're so almond.
My wife's, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I mean, to you I have, but my wife's brother is autistic. And one of the first couple times my wife came over to my grandmother's house for dinner, my grandmother was like, asked her about her brother or something, like, how's he doing? She's like, oh, I had a mongoloid cousin growing up.
Oh shit! I love cultural
so bad.
Not so cultural, bad. Generational.
Yeah,
like,
it's so funny.
Shit like that.
I went, what? And she was like, yeah. When I was like, first off, mongoloid's not a term you can use. What are you doing? Second off, not the same thing.
A big transition for me.
It's funny now.
Really
at the time,
hard for me.
I was mortified
to get over. I grew up because my dad, he took care of the like mentally handicapped like all my life. That was his job.
Right. Yeah, you've mentioned.
My dad's had many jobs, but that was the one job he continuously had. He would take care of them, ones that couldn't be homes or anything. Like, he's been like he just retired from it. I'm gonna say last year, but I grew up. My dad always took care of the mentally retarded. That might get bleeped out. Who knows? But that's how I grew up, like hearing it.
We've talked about this, I think.
Oh, okay. So it took me so long to stop saying that. I'm not bothered by the word still.
Right.
But I understand that some people are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it took me so goddamn long because I was like, but retarded's not a bad word. Like, it's just somebody with a mental deficiency.
Anytime there's a word
what it means,
that's like just part of our regular vernacular, and then we decide, okay, we can't do it. It's always going to take a while to get it out of popular culture and out of our society. Yeah. Anytime anything, like, I mean, any of the words for homosexual that we used when we were younger. That was
my
like
gay
just
friend
regular.
Still says, "Man, that's gay." She still says that.
Just that. I mean, that's just like
it's not her taking it back. She's been saying it since before she came out as gay.
But I mean, those were like common things people said back then when we were younger, and it was just like, okay, that's not a good thing to say. We'll adjust, just like anything else, and it takes time.
But yeah, it was just funny, like going through that mental hoop. We watched Prey, and I love that movie, and he's into RoboCop. It was another. Oh, and I finally saw Wakanda Forever. Speaking of long movies,
haven't watched that yet. It's on my list. I know it just came out to stream.
Surprisingly, my daughter's the one who wanted to watch it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I wasn't expecting that one. And
my she doesn't typically get in. She's not really that into Marvel, is she?
Not really. I think it was just because it was a female main character.
Okay, makes sense. She's somebody she can identify with. Why not, right? Want to watch the movie.
And so she's watching it, and like,
no spoilers.
I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it. And we obviously know there's going to be a dedication to Chadwick Boseman, and this is actually the only thing I was really going to talk about, because I think that all the acting is really good. Although the level of brutality to consequence of brutality, like in the moment consequence of brutality, is a little off to me, like, because it's Disney,
right?
Let's just say somebody gets stabbed and there is zero blood, and I don't mean like stabbed with a knife. They get stabbed through with a spear.
No blood.
And they pull the spear out and there's no blood, and it just bothered me.
That's
like not even a little bit. It didn't have to be gory or anything, but
yeah, you can't have blood.
Like, sell the pain on me.
Oh, okay.
But they do a memorial to Chadwick Boseman, and they actually do, like, and I imagine this was like crazy in theater. Like, it was a moment of silence without saying, "Hey, let's do a moment of silence."
Sure.
And it was in the movie. It did scenes like from the old movie, and it was all silent.
I like that.
And I was just like, that was just really well done.
Yeah.
Like, I like
the idea.
Like, I felt that. So that I have to say, like, out of all the memorials and memoriams I see in movies, that was by far one of the best ones to do.
Now I'm looking forward to it.
So I would suggest watch it. It's a lot goes on in that movie. It literally took my daughter
like
3
3
days
hours
to
long,
watch
right?
it. Yeah, it took her 3 days to watch it.
Yeah, it just came out streaming like within the last couple of days, right?
Yeah,
it's on my list. We took like 4 months to watch the new Thor movie, so we'll probably watch it in a few months.
And as we get closer to talking about our topic, and we're talking about movies, fucking Netflix. Please tell me you follow what happened with Netflix.
With the password stuff, what?
Yeah, they pushed the password thing.
Oh, they pushed it? I didn't know they pushed it.
So they pushed it, but they weren't expecting, and I don't know how they didn't expect this. They got a shitload of pushback. And I mean, like, everybody was like, well, bye, Netflix.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. They're like, hey, don't steal our service. And people are like, fuck you.
Well, no, because remember, if you remember the old advertisements, they were pushing the fact that you could share up to like 3 friends and shit like that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
They were okay with it. But then now they're hemorrhaging money.
Yeah, well, they get to the point where
they didn't think to the future.
They topped out. They're like, all right, well, we've got X amount of users, and they're sharing with everybody else, and we can't get any more subscribers now.
Yep. If they didn't license a bunch of garbage, if they didn't push a bunch of garbage series, and they just focused on maybe 2 or 3 a year, maybe, they would save a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, well, God, how many do they put out a year now? It's like 1 a week at least, if not more.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. To the point that nobody watches half the shit they have on there.
No, not at all.
And the fact that other streaming services are saying, well, we have our own. I'm sorry, like ABC goes, we have Peacock. We don't need you, Netflix, and they pull their shows.
Right.
So Netflix should just kind of chill the fuck out and focus in instead of canceling good shows and making 1,000,001 like other shows. But who am I? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, obviously. But they do this password thing. People fucking go off. This is one of the good things about Twitter. One of the good things I will ever say about Twitter. And because they posted it on a Twitter.
Right.
Everyone went crazy. People on YouTube, that's how I heard about it. On YouTube are going, well, that's dumb because you just fucked like most of your subscriber base. And Netflix, like within maybe a few days, posted, oh, we're sorry that post was actually made in error. Right now we're not pushing anything.
Sure.
Error. Yeah. You mean bad judgment, right?
Bad judgment, yes.
That's what you meant.
The same things happen with, I keep seeing on Reddit people complaining about 90 Day Fiance with the Discovery Plus streaming network, because I guess, I forget which show is new right now, but the episodes air on like Friday night or something, or whatever day they air. They're not showing up on the streaming until the following day. And like people ask support and they're like, oh yeah, it'll be uploaded the following day. And they're like, what the fuck am I paying for then? I'm paying so I can watch it a day after it airs? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So a bunch of people cancel on that.
People watch reality TV shows to interact, one, with the reality stars, and two, talk shit with one another.
Yeah. It's just...
like, we need to be on time here.
This is why I don't like streaming services, and I find other means to watch shit.
Yeah.
I don't...
Reality TV shows really are just gossip. They're just for gossiping.
Oh, man. I wanted to talk about ChatGPT a little bit, but I don't know if we have time.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I know very little about it. I know about it, but I know very little.
Well, I'm wondering if we should save this for another episode.
Maybe.
All right, we'll save it for another episode.
Yeah, we'll save it for another.
Because I could talk about that for a while. I've been playing with it, and the shit. We'll talk about it in another episode. All right, I guess it's time we should get into our topic for this week.
The complaining.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what?
It's time to begin the complaining.
This is just going to be a teaser in regards to our podcast, right? And I was just playing around with it, I'll talk about some of the other stuff, crazy shit. We'll get into that on another episode. But I wanted to talk about, so I was playing with it, and I asked it to create a summary for a podcast called "And That Is Why I Hate You." Right? And this is what it comes up with. "And That Is Why I Hate You" is a podcast that explores the reasons behind conflicts and animosity between people. Each episode features discussions and analysis of real-life stories, delving into the psychological and emotional aspects of why certain relationships may have turned sour. The show aims to provide insights and understanding to listeners, helping them navigate their own interpersonal relationships and conflicts. And I was like, that's a fucking good description for a podcast. It just generated on the fly.
No, I'm going to say this right now. In another universe, if we were NPR, that's exactly what our podcast would be.
But that's crazy, right?
NPR radio kind of shit.
It just generates that shit. And then I said, make it funnier. And it generates... And That Is Why I Hate You is a hilarious podcast that will have you rolling on the floor with laughter, or at least laughing on the inside. This show takes a deep dive into the absurdity of human relationships and the petty reasons we hold grudges against each other. Think of it as comedic therapy session, where we can all learn to laugh at ourselves and our ridiculous beefs with others. Whether it's a clash with a coworker, a falling out with a friend, or a battle with a significant other, this podcast has got you covered. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amused by the ridiculousness of it all. Anyway.
Is that going to be on the website? Because that's really good.
They're good, right?
Good.
I read it to my wife and I was like, I might just use them because they're good. These fucking AI generated. I'm trying to come up with content for the website and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what to write. I'm just typing mindless shit. ChatGPT just generated for me. I was just playing, again, I'm not going to go into details, but I asked it to create a list of things people do. Actually, I first asked it to create a list of people that we hate because they do stupid things. And then I asked it to create a list of groups of people that do dumb things. And both times it told me this is a poor use of the chat model because it's not fair to hate people for their qualities. And I was like, it is when they leave pee on the toilet seat. So I finally asked it to create a list of things people do that drive other people crazy. And it generated a list of 12. And like some of the stuff's already on our list. I'm just, Jesus Christ. Then I asked it in preparation for this podcast to write a few paragraphs about why Roblox is bad for the video gaming industry. And it fucking did. Should I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right, here it is. While Roblox has become we're just AI outsourcing.
It's really funny
our
that like
now.
one problematic AI is writing about another problematic program.
Funny,
it's
right?
Pretty good.
While Roblox has become a popular platform for gaming, it can also have negative impacts on the video game industry. Here are a few reasons why. Lack of original content. A significant amount of the games on Roblox are not original, with many users simply copying and pasting existing games or pre-made assets. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but number 2, safety concerns. Roblox has faced criticism for not doing enough to protect its young users. Quality control.
100%.
With millions of games on the platform, it's difficult for Roblox to maintain a high-level quality control. 100%. Competition with traditional video games. As Roblox grows in popularity, it will take away market share from traditional video game companies. So, and then it wraps it up with a conclusion. But I'm just like, okay, so we don't actually have to think anymore. We can just ask the AI to generate our podcast for us. And I'll put it through a user-generated. I'm pretty sure I could then say, create a podcast script based on this, and it will do that. So we'll get into, because I've been playing with some of that stuff too. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But yeah, Roblox. So I wanted to talk about Roblox because my kids are obsessed with fucking Roblox. I was really happy.
Mine.
And like, at first I was happy because it's like, oh, I love that they're getting into gaming. You know, when I first started out, I was just happy because I'm like, oh, they're getting into games. And my daughter actually over the weekend when everybody was sick asked to play Disney Dreamlight Valley again, which she had started and she played it for like quite a few hours over the weekend. And I was really happy. I was like, she's playing a real video game. But the more I see these Roblox games they're playing, I don't understand the concept. It seems like, I guess it's all money driven because you could buy shit within the games and pay for upgrades, and there's transactions built into
It's pretty much a mobile app.
Games.
It's a mobile app.
But like, it's one thing when microtransactions are bullshit, right? And that's probably just the old man in me complaining because I came from
no.
Well, we came from the time when you bought a game and that was it. You bought the game and what was on the disc was what cartridge.
You might be able to put in a password and find some crazy shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that was it. And now, like, they ship broken games and they're like, it's fine. We're just going to put a patch out for it.
Early access.
Yeah. It's just like, and all these
is.
microtransactions to buy shit now, like even in the fucking hockey game I play, they have the whole like, this trading card based thing where you can collect cards and get players and then create your team based on the players you collect. So like you want to get the Wayne Gretzky number 99 card so you can put them on your team and you'll be really good. It's just fucking dumb. And I'm just, the way they introduced all these microtransactions.
Any game that has a store, and now mind you, not saying that it has a store, but then has a store that says you can get 5 extra coins.
Right.
If you get the $10 ethereal Coinbase unpack box.
Yeah.
And it's like, the fuck, wait, so I get 5 coins for getting 15, like spending $15.99 to get 15 coins, so I'll just get 20 coins, but the thing I want is 20 coins. So and it's just a skin.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, and like it's one thing. It's bad enough to me when you're paying for that kind of shit, like customization, skins and stuff. Yeah. But okay, fine, I can play the game and not have to buy those things.
Skins are elective.
Right, they're elective. But it's like with Roblox, I've seen some of these games where they're like, oh, buy a double jump for 50 coins. Like, double jump costs me money now?
Which double jump can just get programmed into that game.
Yeah.
I wonder how the money model works. Because the money doesn't just go to the programmer, because the programmer, the person who programmed the game. No, the person who programmed the game. Because whoever runs Roblox is not making the games. They just made the program that people... Okay, for instance, here's a game that uses the Roblox model properly. Little Big Planet, which wasn't as successful and was way before its time when it came out. But Little Big Planet, it did what Roblox is doing now with way more effort.
Right.
And it wasn't as microtransaction-y as I remember it. And as I said, the internet wasn't super great when it came out. So Roblox was just stealing its model. Everything about Roblox is stealing the model from everything else. It stole the look of Lego. It stole the gaming model of Little Big Planet.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Mobile transaction room the same as Fortnite and everything fucking else, even though it probably came out before Fortnite. But regardless, it's just taking everything from everywhere else. And then it latches onto something popular. Now, what I mean about how the money flows, because obviously kids buy Robux, and they that money goes to the creators of Roblox.
Right.
But the people who are building the games, the little games inside, how are they making money?
Well, because within the game you're buying shit with those Robux, so I'm sure they
Well,
get
that's
some
what I'm
sort
saying.
of monetary fee. There's got to be something, like somebody spends 10 Robux in your game, you get a cent or something like that. It's got to be something like that.
With my kids, I have my credit card locked in on my Xbox because my son will be playing Roblox and he'll go, "Oh man, they have this really cool Flash skin in this Flash game."
I know.
And like he has this ability. I'm like, "Okay, go get it?" And he'll go on and it'll give him like the boots and the glove and says, "You'll have to spend like 5 Robux to get the rest of it."
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Like, fuck you. This ugly ass game is not getting my money.
Well, that's the part of the problem too. It's built to prey on kids in that way. It's not a game for adults where it's like, okay, I can buy this dumb shit and I'm a grown up and I can. No, I mean maybe not, but I can decide what to do with my money. But we're talking about little kids that are then coming in. Like my kids they don't now. When they first started playing it, they would, because they know that I'm going to say no. But can I have Robux to get this this bullshit thing in the game? And then I got to deal with my kids coming and bugging me about it. And I got to say no to them and look like an asshole so they can't buy something that they don't realize is a ridiculous waste of money.
Yep, like if anything proves that games are a waste of fucking time, Roblox is one of those things. Now, here's the thing. I actually like kids playing Roblox together. Like when they
I do too.
I like the community for, like, let's say my nieces and nephews playing Roblox with each other. Like they'll be in a room playing the game, but then they'll be showing each other and talking to each other. You know, the opposite of what people think kids are doing when they're playing Roblox and they're just like sitting in their screen just playing.
Right.
They're talking to each other. They're like, "Hey, I need help getting over here. Okay, give me your tablet. I'm gonna do this." Like they communicate.
No, that stuff's good because it reminds me of when I played games when I was a kid and the camaraderie I felt with my friends when we would play, and whether it was GoldenEye or some co-op game, or even when the internet did come around, we were playing like SOCOM or something like that online.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite times of my life, this sounds terrible, playing SOCOM with some of my friends online, just having some of the epic battles we'd have, because SOCOM was so much different than games then, because it was
SOCOM.
They changed that now. Call of Duty and stuff does it too, but it was your squad goes out, and if you die, you die. You wait until the end of the round to come back. So there were some epic battles where, like, you'd be the last person on your team, and there were 4 guys on the other team,
and they're cheering
you on, like, yeah, fucking get him, yeah, you fucking did it. It was so good. It was like so fun. Like I still can remember sitting in my room and like taking out the entire other team, and my teammates going fucking nuts. Like, I can't believe you fucking did that.
That's one thing I'll give Fortnite. I think either it's Fortnite or Apex Legends. I'm thinking of maybe Fortnite.
There's so many of those
where there's like
now.
You're a team of 3,
right?
And so your team, if your teammates die,
I think that's Fortnite. Oh, they both have the same.
They both do that. I think they both do that. If your teammates die, they can just watch you and talk to you and help.
Right.
Like pretty much spectate and go, there's guys over there. Like if you miss them, like they'll still talk to you.
Yeah, and you're right.
And I like that.
Roblox does that well, and my kids, same thing. They'll play together, or with friends when they're over in the same room. They'll play online with friends. My daughter will get on Facebook Messenger and audio chat with her friend while they're playing a game. And like, I mean, some of them are harmless. Some are like just silly little role-playing games. But the majority of them are very...
No, they are...
They're predatory.
The heart of Roblox is based off of money.
Right. Absolutely. But it's just... And I don't want to repeat the AI-generated points, but they're true. Like, I don't want to see... Like, I don't want kids to just migrate to playing these games, which some of them are okay and like well thought out, but the majority of them are just bullshit, crappy, put together garbage that makes no sense, and my kids still want to play it. And there's no fun aspect to it. It's just repetitive shit.
One of the most like rip-offy things I've seen on Roblox, it's fucking hilarious to me because my daughter has a book about it now, is Piggy.
Yes, Piggy was very big in our house a couple years ago. They don't play it as much anymore.
Evil Peppa Pig.
Yep.
Based off of the game Grandma, which is also just hide and seek.
Right. Yep.
which is a mobile app. And it's pretty much a creepypasta version of Peppa Pig.
Yes.
Who beats
It's
you
exactly
with a
what it
stick
is.
or a baseball bat.
It's 100% what it is, yes.
And there are books about this. Like, is this illegal somewhere around here? Is there something illegal going on right here? Because this should not be commodified. Like, how do you make toys?
That's
how
the
do you
other
make toys
problem
to this?
The intellectual property violations are insane. And I don't know, maybe people write it off as parody or satire and they get away with it for that reason. I don't understand how, because
they have Squid Game games all over the fucking
there's Squid Game games. Like when Encanto came out, I just said it with Encanto.
Oh, yeah.
When Encanto came out, I'm doing the news anchor thing. There was like all these Encanto games my kids were playing. Wednesday came out. Now there's these Wednesday games they're playing.
And you hear the music and people doing the dance everywhere. Yep.
It's like straight out of, they just ripped assets from like everything about, not just the concept, but like you said, the music even from the show, they're ripping and putting in the games. And I don't know how they don't get shut down constantly for violating intellectual properties.
Granted, most of the games in it are user generated. So you're going to get that. But there's little to no oversight. This weekend, I had a huge fucking...
zero oversight.
Yeah, very true. Because I think I remember reading up that Roblox is actually like a Russian game.
It might be.
The developers are from Russia or something like that. So...
we're probably supporting Russian war efforts. Playing Roblox.
American children support Russian war efforts playing Roblox. But so my kids, I for the longest time said, look, I got a Series X. We had Roblox on the Xbox One. I'm not putting Roblox on the Series X. I don't give a shit. Figure out how to play it. I finally caved. Because my son's tablet is really bad, is dying. So I was like, fine. So you and your sister can play together. I will put Roblox on here. I put Roblox on. I waited hours trying to get the password. I got the password, got it all to work. And they couldn't add each other. Because on the Xbox version of it, when you go into friends, there is no add icon. And if somebody adds you, there's no pop-up.
Nice.
My daughter friended my son because I had to make a whole new account and they couldn't fucking friend each other. I was like, is that a cross-platform problem? No, they allow cross-platform, so why is that a fucking thing? So you know what? Just go into a game, you should be able to see each other. You know what his name is, he knows what your name is. Right. Just go to the same location, you'll be able to see each other. She goes into the game, it works. He goes in, it's like a nursery, like a daycare kind of thing.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this brings me
some
back
players
to
play babies, and others
I know
are
exactly
adults.
what you're talking about.
It's just fucking weird.
It's another weird role-playing game.
Role-playing one. And he goes in and says, this game cannot be played on here. Error 103. I'm like, okay. I try another game. This cannot be played. Error 103. Like, oh, maybe it's because of age. I looked it up. I was like, oh, okay, maybe the age. I look at the thing, it says for all ages. I'm like, okay, so it should work. Went it back in. Okay, what is error 103? And it's saying, oh, you have to, again, it's like you have to change your age settings. You have to change, like, in your own system.
Right.
The age settings were all open. The only thing I don't have open is chatting. Because I don't want an adult chatting with my kid. You just can't talk to people.
Right.
And it's still not working. The game's not loading. I'm like, the fuck? I open a bunch of other games. They're working. So I'm like, what's going on? I went into the fucking chat, and one person said, oh, are you playing on an Xbox? The person answered going, yes. He goes, that error also pops up because the game doesn't work on Xbox.
This crappy little bullshit game won't work on an Xbox.
Won't work on fucking Xbox. It's not doing anything special. But no. I guess what I'm assuming is a microtransaction button doesn't fucking work on the Xbox because you have to press you have to click in the R3 and then scroll through that and then press the start button to get those pop-ups to fucking go away.
Right.
Because it's you literally have to be a contortionist with your fingers to get rid of shit on the Xbox. But I guess that just doesn't work, so they just don't have the game compatible with the Xbox.
Nice.
Because the game's not old either.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
the fuck? And it's not a specific error that it doesn't work across platform. It's just the same error you would get if there were age restrictions on it. Kiss my fucking ass. What the fuck What is that?
Dude, it goes back to one of my favorite lines from movies from The Incredibles. When everyone's a superhero, no one will be. It's saying
No.
when everyone's a video game developer, no one will
No
be.
one is. Like, just nobody knows, like, what the fuck they're doing.
No, there's a reason people go to school to learn how to develop games. They go to college, not just programming, like the actual concept of coming up with a game and creating the world and creating the gameplay.
Mhm.
And then we give every dumb fucking asshole the option to come and create a game and basically, like you said, just clone some other person's game and then like add Mickey Mouse's face to it. And they'll get a whole bunch of people playing this stupid fucking game where the whole concept is to just like jump up a platform over and over again. Then you get to the top and then you start over at the bottom, do it again.
Mhm.
Oh, and back to merchandising. My kids, my brother got my kids both Roblox toys for Christmas. So my son got little Roblox figures that look like Roblox characters, and they come with like a little like accessory and like a hat or something. And then it comes with like a little code that you can then get those items in the game and add them to your avatar. Cool, right? My daughter gets another Roblox toy that I'm trying to figure out why I can't redeem the codes. It's not just a Roblox toy. It's a toy specific to a game in Roblox. So it's somebody created a game in Roblox and then is licensing and selling toys based on their game in Roblox. Not Roblox
Under
as
the
an
Roblox
intellectual
name,
property.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So the codes only worked in the one game in Roblox to redeem. I was like, and it's the same thing like you said with Piggy. Same thing. Like they're selling toys and stuff based on these characters that are infringing on the intellectual property of another company. It's just such a mess. It's like they took YouTube and social media and applied it to the video gaming world, where just like
That's
anybody
exactly
can
what
do
it's
whatever
like.
the fuck they want and make whatever they want, and there's no quality control, there's no oversight, there's nobody making sure kids.
Well, I was about to say, while YouTube is like controlled by pretty much a semi-tyrannical idiot.
Yeah.
Like Roblox is just like, no, I got my money. Fuck you. I'm done. Like, I don't want to do anything else. I made the program. You make the shit.
It's just so bad. And
like,
the games are terrible.
If Roblox, I would be okay with Roblox if it was just some kind of like open source engine type of thing. It was just like,
yes,
somebody made this program. It's like Mugen. Like Mugen.
Right.
Somebody just made this program and that's it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And anyone can download it and just play with it.
Right.
But no, this is an enterprise, a full-on like monetary fucking business. How does that survive?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know either, dog. I don't fucking know.
It's unbelievable. It's just, I guess the reason it really, really bothers me, come on, dog, there's nothing to bark at now. I closed the blinds so you can't see the truck. I think the reason it bothers me the most is just because I'm just a gaming snob and I want my kids to play real games and have real experiences. And like my daughter will come to me once in a while and be like, she's let's see, Pokemon whatever the Diamond, whatever the newest Sapphire, whatever the newest Pokemon for Switch was. Animal Crossing. There's a couple games, all Switch games. No, a couple for Xbox, where she's come to me and said, "Hey, I want to play this game," and I was so happy. And I was like, "I'm gonna get it. I'll get it for you." And I get the game, and then she plays it once, and then she never plays it again. And then I end up returning it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, thanks Amazon. I just return it like a week later because she played it once and didn't play it again. And then usually like 2 years later, she'll be like, "Hey, can I play that game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got rid of that. You played it once and I sent it back."
Yep. No, that's why I just download games now.
So that's why I don't download games. That's why I buy physical copies.
Oh, no. I mean, like I have Game Pass. Limited on my Game Pass. I download it and that's it.
Yeah, we had to take a little pause there if there's any weird stuff going on. But we're just quickly talking about being sick again.
I've been sick for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've been sick for 1.5. The kids got sick. I mean, once school started, they immediately started getting sick again. They both have had like a cold type thing for like 2.5 weeks now. And then on Wednesday night, my daughter woke up vomiting with a stomach bug. And then she was fine the next day. The next day she wasn't vomiting, but she was just kind of like, she was a little out of it. But then, and then 2 days later, she's fine. My son started throwing up Friday. And then my wife started throwing up Saturday. And all of it was like 8 hours of like feeling crappy, 8 to 12 hours. And then just kind of like a little malaise. And then they were fine within like 24 hours. But while also having a respiratory infection. And my son also Thursday morning after my daughter had been thrown up, woke up with a crew cough with that like barking.
Oh yeah.
So we had to get him a steroid to treat that. So like they just can't win. Like it's just so ridiculous. They're just constantly sick.
The 3 weeks ago, because we were supposed to record, I ended up getting a stomach bug, which I don't know if it was food poisoning or not.
Right.
But I woke up at 3 a.m. and my body had to expel something, and it did not care where it came from. And that went on for hours. And I was like, it's Friday. I have to work.
Those are the
and
worst. Worst sicknesses.
Not work.
Those are the worst ones.
Like I turned on Persona 4, sat on the couch and covered myself in the blanket. My cat was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No." And I started playing, and I was like, "Nope, can't make it," and I had to go right back to the bathroom.
Those are my favorites.
That lasted for 2.5 days.
Ooh, that's rough.
And then right after, I had a cough. I'm guessing because, bile does that. I didn't eat for those days, by the way. I drank water, but I did not eat.
Yeah, well, yeah, you throw up bile.
And I had a cough, and then it instantly turned into an upper respiratory infection.
Yeah, that's weird because I would have like you said, I would have thought the cough was just from the vomiting, irritated my esophagus, and then I've had that happen too, where I've got a cough after having a stomach bug, and I was like, oh, it's just from that, and then like 4 days later, I'm like, oh, I really don't feel that great either.
Yep.
It's just nonstop since my kids started school, and they're young still. I'm sure it's probably the same for you, right? They just get everything. They bring everything home.
My son ended up getting it.
It just sucks. It sucks. And kids with vomit is bad. Like my son, I don't know about your son.
Oh.
My son was just like, wherever I am is where I am puking.
No, my son tries.
He tries, but he doesn't. Right. That's what I mean. Like he tries, but when it comes down to it, he's just going to puke wherever he is.
With both of my kids, if they get diarrhea at any point, they get pull-ups.
Yeah, that's smart.
Like I never had that growing up.
I wish I could wear. Why don't I do that?
I never got that growing up. Just buy Depends. Put them away.
That's a good point. Diarrhea, I never really thought of that.
Just put them on.
I mean, I'd rather that than wake up with a fucking Hershey stain on the bed, next to my wife.
So during my sicknesses, this is gross, but whatever.
Yay! Gross talk.
I'm cleaning because I'm sick, but the house still needs to function. So I'm trying to clean the kitchen. And my stomach goes, a glurb, a glurb, a glurb. And I go, you better not. The bathroom's upstairs. And it goes, oh, okay, watch me. And it goes, and so I'm tightened up and I'm trying to like make it. And I'm dreading the thought that I have to lift my knees to go up the stairs.
You can't have the separation.
So I'm now like semi-foot walking up the stairs, like trying to like lay down.
Everybody's been there. Everybody's been there.
And it keeps going. Like every move is just more and more. I'm like, just you know what? You shit your pants. You shit your pants. You know you shit your pants.
Look.
So just accept it.
Yeah.
Just accept that you did that.
That's just the way it is. I mean, I think every adult, you can ask them and they're gonna be like, no, I've never done that. Fuck you. You shit your pants.
You did.
You shit your pants before.
Here's the funny thing. I didn't. I actually, because I was wearing red underwear, so I could see.
Oh, you just thought it was?
Oh my God. It never cussed past the crack. Like
it's just stuck in there. All your tightening
I guess I was so clenched.
Yeah, you were so tight. It couldn't escape.
Here's where it gets gross.
It wasn't like your cheeks were like a hand squeezing it,
just
holding it in.
but okay, it's already gross. But this is where it gets like diabolical gross because I didn't shit my underwear. I was like, yes, and I go to the bathroom. I wipe like the whole everything. I use the wet wipes. I'm just like I'm going in, cleaning everything up.
You need a bidet.
What I didn't right? What I didn't notice was that since it was literally all T1000, aka liquid shit, it rolled onto my balls. So when I pulled my underwear back up, it was still on my ball hair. And I was like, oh, what was that feeling? And I was like, you mean to tell me I fucking made it? I made it! I was in the promised land.
Oh.
And then I had to be brought right back down to earth. Because I didn't wipe my balls after taking a shit.
Just...
I was so angry.
There's TMI and there's whatever stratosphere you just launched us into. Jesus Christ. All right. We're going to get close. Let me ask you this. Has this ever happened to you? All right. First off, my bowels and I have an understanding amongst themselves.
Mind you, we're still on topic, by the way. We're still on topic. We're talking about shit, a.k.a. Roblox.
Yeah, technically we're still on topic. Like, I used to have really bad, like, in my early 20s, I'd say, I had bad gastro issues. Like, I'd constantly have, like, bad cramps and then, whatever came of that. Like, I'd be at work and, I'd be out on the road. I had a job where I had to go, just like, kind of like you. I had to go from place to place. And I'd be out on the road and it would hit me. And I'd just be like, oh, no. And then, like, I think we just got into an agreement with each other where my bowels are like, okay, when you're not at home, we're going to let you be. But what happens is, like, I'll be out. Yeah, I'll get, like, to the end of the road, and they're like, all right, motherfucker, it's on! Start rumbling like crazy.
Yeah!
It's like they know. It's like my bowels just know. They're like, all right, you're almost home. It's time to start grinding the gears. And they start working up.
This is why I always feel that, like, the conscious and subconscious are literally just roommates. They are just roommates.
You're absolutely right.
Your subconscious is that dick roommate who just, like, washes the dishes but leaves like a bunch in there still.
That's such
like
a good
wash
point.
A few dishes and that's it.
You're right. That's such a good point. I never even thought of it that way, but you're right. That's exactly what it is. Anyway, I had times where it was so bad. Let me ask you that. Have you ever had mucus come out of your ass before?
Only when I had diarrhea.
Yeah. I mean, the first time that happened to me, like when I
that scared the shit out of you.
I was like, literally. What the fuck is
you
this?
That's your body's lubricant.
No, I know, but I didn't know your butthole made it.
Yes,
I had to look
every
it up.
part of your body.
I had to look it up, and I was like,
every orifice of your body makes it.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was like your nose and like your nasal passages. No, because I didn't know my asshole.
Do you pay attention to history, like in history, in health class?
I'm pretty sure they don't teach you about mucus coming out of your ass in health class.
When they literally say your sphincter, which is any sphincter in your body, like your veins, all of that. No.
Your sphincter is your sphincter. Your sphincters. They didn't say that in health class or biology.
Yes, they do. Your sphincters, You know your voice box has a sphincter.
Sure.
It's all it is a meaty thing that closes and opens. That's all it fucking is. It produces mucus. All of that produces mucus because the little shutter to your body, your asshole included, needs to open and close.
No, I get that, but I didn't realize
it needs a little bit of oil to get it moving.
Maybe I just didn't think it would create enough to the point where it would come out of me, and I'd be like,
I guess,
why are there boogers on the toilet paper?
I will give you that one. I will give you that one.
And also, if a
teacher...
you
notice, it's like your butt sneezed.
Right, yes. Literally, because I think it just expelled when I passed gas. But if one of my teachers had said to me, like, your butthole makes mucus, I would have been laughing. I would remember that.
Yeah, okay. Knowing you, that's exactly true. Oh, no, I'm not saying that they say that they say that specifically, like your butthole produces mucus. They say any sphincter because your body has several sphincters.
I don't know. I think I still but as soon as they said sphincter, I just think butthole. That might as well say butthole if you said sphincter.
Fine.
Anyway, so man, we went into this isn't even a dark place. This is just a place of just ill repute.
Well, when you talk about medical issues for like middle-aged men,
at
this point that's part of it.
Yeah, it's I hate being old.
Like I never thought I would have these three things: dad cough,
ooh,
dad smell, like natural dad breath.
You don't have a dad smell.
I do.
I've never
like my daughter makes sure to remind me every day that I have dad breath.
Oh, what breath is different?
Not like, and I'm not talking about like brushing my teeth and like I brush my teeth, but it doesn't matter. As soon as you wake up in the morning, your breath stinks.
Yeah.
You brush your teeth after, your breath is going to stink in the next hour.
Yeah.
Like I constantly have to have gum.
Right, makes sense.
So it's like the dad cough where it's not a real cough, but you're always like pushing something out. Yeah, just
that's all the time. Yeah.
And
we said that same time.
This thing that all dads do, and I don't know if it counts as dad cough. That noise.
All right,
like so I don't notice I'm doing it.
This is something. Dad toes.
Dad feet, where there's this thing where dads just have gnarly feet.
Oh yeah, my feet are disgusting. I mean, like
Well,
my
that's what
feet
I'm
are
saying.
crusty,
My-
dry. I have like calluses. Like I could literally stick a pin in my feet and it won't hurt.
My army
My
boots
nails,
fucked up my feet. Oh,
my
they fucked them
toenails
up.
are all twisted. My kids both inherited my toenails. Where like my big
Mm.
toe doesn't grow like down; it just grows like out into the wind. It's creepy and gross. And both of my kids have the same thing. Gnarly ass toes.
My dad's toenails are black, and not because there's like a disease or anything. His toenails are so thick that they're like you can't see through them.
That's so weird.
And so they look black because he's a dark dude.
Right.
But my wife makes fun of me. She calls my toes talons, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. And my feet get so dry and I hate this so much, that they become Velcro in my bed sheets.
Oh yeah,
So, and no matter how much lotion I put on,
especially with like I have fleece sheets, so like the little crags and crannies in my feet, just like you said, they just get stuck to the sheets.
And my dad was obsessed with putting on Vaseline, and I always thought that was gross. He used to do that to me, so I ignored putting Vaseline on my body. I'm like, no, I'll put on lotion. I won't put on Vaseline because my dad was just shiny as fuck, and I mean, like he looked like opal. And so he would do that to me as a kid. He would just put Vaseline, and I never got it. I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the age at which he was when he did that to me, and I'm like, I get it. I'm not gonna do it, but I get it.
Every once in a while, I'll use a pumice stone to try to grind them down a little bit.
That works for like maybe a few hours.
Yeah, it doesn't. And then
my skin somehow grows and flakes again into scales. I don't get it.
The last real job I had where I worked for somebody, because I shouldn't say real job because I have a real job. I just work for myself. But the last real job I had, classic job. I worked in an office with 3 other women. So like they'd go for pedicures sometimes, and one day they were like, "Come get a pedicure."
Why did you say it like that?
What do you mean?
You said you worked at a job with 3 other women. Are you telling me something about yourself?
Oh, okay, I got it. I worked with 3 other people who were women. There you go.
Or 3 women.
I worked with 3
women.
All right, there's something I got.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail. I did mean to derail.
My baldness and pot belly be damned. I'm actually a woman.
Wait, women can't have that? See, you are sexist.
Yeah, women can be bald. My son likes to say that. We were playing a game. It was an Encanto game. I'm not gonna say it with the accent. It was an Encanto game, and part of the game was you have to say something nice to each other. And my son got that card one point, and I was like, "Say something nice to me or your sister." And he looks at me and he goes, "You're bald, Dad." And I was like, "That's not nice." What is this? I was like, "It's not necessarily mean. It's just a statement."
It's objective.
Yeah, that's not. What are you talking? That's not.
No, my daughter.
He said it to me in the car the other day, and I was like, "You're gonna go bald one day too." And he got this look on his face.
Just because you said that. My daughter will say shit like that to me all the time. My son will say shit like that, but say it in the nicest fucking way.
Yeah. He didn't mean it.
And it kills me.
He didn't mean
No. I don't mean like your son said it, I'm guessing, like hearing him in my head, is that he said it just matter of factly.
Yes, that's what it was.
My son will literally go like, "You have a big belly, Dad, and I like it."
That's nice.
What the fuck? Like he like, "Dad, you're fat, but I like it on you."
Well,
like he'll say stuff like that. I'm like, you make me self-conscious, but
he's trying to be nice.
Like, he was being nice. Well, I mean, he thought he was giving a compliment. My daughter will be like, "You have a fat belly, Dad, and you're not pregnant, so you shouldn't have a fat belly." Like, thanks.
Well, that's just how kids are. They're very matter of fact.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just no filter. They don't have the social skills yet to know what's right and what's not right to say.
If it's said to me, I'm not really usually upset about it. Like sometimes I'm on my off days where I'm sad. I'm just afraid that they'll say that to my wife. They'll say shit to my wife, and for me that's like
stranger.
That's not that means that's gonna affect everyone in the house if you say that shit. That will affect everyone in the house. Oh, nobody's gonna be happy if you say that shit to her. But my daughter does that to herself. So I can't get on her about. She's like, "No, I have a mustache." I'm like, "Little girl, you're a child. All kids like are fuzzy in weird ways." Yeah, like,
doesn't matter. You're a kid. Yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah. So they went to get pedicures, and one time they were like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "I could do that, or I could sit here and work for an hour while they're going." So I was like,
Oh, you
okay.
got a pedicure?
Yeah, I
How
went
was
a couple. Dude, I went a couple times. The first time was hilarious because my feet were so bad. Like the woman brought out like a potato, literally a potato peeler.
See, I'm afraid
She's
that's what's
working
going
on
to
my
happen to
feet.
me if I do that.
I didn't care. Like
I'm suggesting to go, but I don't want somebody messing with my feet. I already don't like feet.
I don't like people messing with my feet necessarily, but it was nice. It was like, and my feet were so soft afterwards. I went a couple times. I haven't been, forever now because I only went when they went. But
Dude, we should go. You
we
should get
should-
me to my first pedicure.
we should go get a pedicure. We should go to the same place I used to go. There's a place in right in Sussex, right over the border in that plaza where the ShopRite used to be. That's where I used to go. It's typical Korean nail salon that you'd expect. But they were good.
That should be my Valentine's gift to my wife.
We should
doing my own feet.
We should totally do that. We should make it a point.
Let your wife, and my wife double date and do something.
we should go get a pedicure.
We should go and get a pedicure and maybe watch a movie.
Let's do this. We're gonna go get a pedicure and we're gonna watch a movie, and that's gonna be our next podcast. We'll elaborate on our adventure. And
BPM.
Our clean feet.
BPM. Beer, pedicure, and movie.
You know what? I don't drink.
I know you don't drink. I know you don't.
How about WPM?
What's the W?
Weed. We'll do weed pedicure and movie.
I will do weed. I don't really often, if ever, do weed. So yeah.
So when I was growing up, we're way off topic now, but that's okay. When I was growing up, I was like so anti anything like drugs or drinking, and like
straight
my
edge.
friends would. I wasn't straight edge though. Like I wasn't. I feel like straight edge has a certain.
Anybody? You just
No. I mean, I didn't preach, but I was like judgy. I wasn't like, and not that's anyway. But I was like always super uncomfortable. Like we go to a party and be like, oh, everybody's drinking and smoking weed. But I'm like so at the end of my rope trying to figure out how to sleep better and how to figure out what to do about migraines and something else. So I started looking. I looked into medical marijuana like 3 or 4 years ago, and I couldn't get into it. And then I finally took another shot at it a couple months back, and I gotta admit, man, it's so good for helping me sleep. And like it took me a while. I had to kind of figure out what to do because the first couple times I tried it, I tripped balls bad. It was not good. Like I literally thought I was on another planet, and I had this existential dread. I know some people get really paranoid. My brothers did too. I got crazy paranoid and had just this total existential dread feeling like the world was ending. And like it sucked because I knew. It wasn't like I was like...
Yeah, no, you were aware. You were like two minds of it,
right,
but you couldn't stop it.
My head was going, look, you just smoked some... Or I think it was a pill, actually. I took capsules. You just took some weed capsules, and that's why you're feeling this way. But like you said, I couldn't stop myself from feeling that way at the same time. So it took some experimenting, but I finally got to the point where like I could take it now, and it doesn't have any psychoactive effects really other than just makes me sleepy, and I fall asleep. The problem I've been having is, for the last few weeks, is I fall asleep, because I typically don't fall asleep till like 4 in the morning. I'm like text you in the middle of the night. So like now I fall asleep within not too long, 10 minutes, but I wake up within like an hour and a half, and I have to go again. And then I fall back to sleep. So I'm not having
like your body's actively fighting it because that's not your natural state. But...
So it's I don't know, like I'm like I don't want to like take more because I don't want it to go overboard. Yeah. So, but I'm like literally using it for medical purpose. Like I'm not taking it to get high, and I'm not like it's not because I learned I've been vaporizing it, and I learned that depending on the temperature, like certain things released, and the higher the temperature, the more crazy it gets. So if I keep the temperature pretty low, it's just kind of just helps me sleep. Anyway, so I don't really use it recreationally. I've just been trying to use it for that.
Oh, so really quick back to Roblox.
Let's get back to Roblox.
The whole there's no since there is no real overhead on it. Like obviously when people complain about customer service shit, I can't even imagine that Roblox even remotely has that.
I don't think they do.
My niece got banned because she said her cousin is gay in chat. Like she was talking to some girl. And
they banned her?
They said she used a derogatory term, so they banned her account.
Excuse me.
That was the reasoning it gave.
I mean,
but I saw the chat log, and she just mentioned how because one person was talking about it, and she goes, "Oh, my cousin's gay."
Yeah, she
just matter of factly said it,
right?
And they banned her account. She had to make a whole new account.
Well, this is kind of similar, and just for everybody listening, our Instagram account is actually live now. I had the same issue when I created it. in like July, whenever it was I first created
Oh
it.
yeah, that was like in the summer.
I created the account and I put in like, and that is why I hate you podcast, and hit sign up, and it immediately went to a screen that said your account has been banned for violating community guidelines. And I was like, I haven't even posted anything. And that was the only thing I could think of, was that I had the word hate in the title, and it just immediately flagged it like, nope, can't hate people. That's gone.
Yeah, hate speech.
Yeah, and then like I had emailed them a million times, and they send you a fucking email. There's a form you can fill out to kind of like say to I don't know, debate, whatever the word is.
Dispute.
There you go. Dispute the claim, the suspension. And they send you an email, and it just says like you got to take a picture of yourself holding a piece of paper with the username and a number on it, which I don't know why that's a verification system now, because you can easily fake those.
The most 4chan ass.
It's
thing.
so stupid, right?
Like
I did it
put
like
shoe on your head. And
I did it a dozen times. Though. I did it a dozen times. Never got a reply. Finally, I went to log in, and it was just like, this account doesn't exist. I was like, oh, they just like removed it. So I was like, let me try again. So I set up a different email, which is using the URL for our website, which is atiwihy.com. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't have any words in it. And I didn't put anything except atiwihy podcast. And it let me create it, and it banned it immediately again.
Wow.
But this time, when it did it, it gave me a form and said, do you want to dispute? And I could fill out the form there. And the same thing happened. It asked me for an upload of a photo and all that, but it was right on the website. It wasn't via email. And then within 24 hours, it was like, yeah, we accidentally, the suspension was in error. We've reactivated.
Seems like somebody got fired, and then not for this reason, but somebody got fired, and it was like moving over to someone else.
Yeah, I don't know, but all I know
like,
is it's live
actually
now,
doing their job,
which is good. So at least it's up now. I was gonna switch all our tags to ATIWIHY pod instead of just the initials, and I was like, I don't want to do that. It's a pain in the ass. So so in other news, our website is live-ish now. I haven't launched the shop yet, which will have just a couple little things with the logo on it or something like that if you want to get something. But the site's live. You can go there, and there's a contact page, so you can fill out the form to send us an email, or if you got a show idea, you can do that. So go check it out. Just a quick plug in the middle of our podcast here. But yeah, so that to get back to Roblox. I think what I was talking about before we kind of cut away from it was just how maybe it's my old man brain, and I've just got this thought about how video games should be. But I don't think my like idealist views on video games are bad. Like I think maybe not. I mean, look at YouTube, right? Like there used to be this monopoly on content creation where if you weren't a TV or movie studio or something, you couldn't put out video content, to a massive amount of people before YouTube and other video sharing platforms came around. And I don't know, I guess it's not bad that those YouTube and other platforms are available, because there's a lot of really good content that I watch on YouTube.
Well, yeah.
But I guess it's different because you're with Roblox, you're still working within an engine, right? So everything has to meet the criteria of the engine and use the engine that they give you. It's not like I could just create a game and launch it on the Roblox platform and have that would be better maybe if you could create a game and launch it and it's just a community share for video games.
Well, I mean, for instance, like RPG Maker pumps out more good games than Roblox could ever do.
This is true.
RPG Maker, there are garbage games out there. There's a lot of bullshit out there.
Of course.
But the difference is, since it's not necessarily totally money motivated, like you can make money off an RPG Maker game.
Sure.
But most of the time, like Yuminiki, I think was a purely free game, and you can tell there's a lot of passion behind it.
Sure.
With Roblox, I don't think I've ever seen where it's not money motivated. No. And even with YouTube, when you see a channel that's purely money motivated, which are most kids programming.
Oh, all of the kids ones are for the most part. Yeah.
Most passion driven, at least when they start, passion driven channels on YouTube, you can always tell, because channels that become money motivated over time, people don't fucking care about them anymore, or they become less popular. For instance, Daniel Dobrik or Mr. Beast. People love Mr. Beast, but people are growing out of them. Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Let's talk about Mr. Beast in a minute. There's a difference there though, right? Because there's a difference between RPG Maker and Roblox in that you're talking about different markets. You're talking about marketing and targeting little kids, and you're talking about young adults and adults with RPG Maker, which intrinsically is going to cause the people developing and using the platform to have more passion, right? Because they're older, they're more mature, they've got their goals and their thoughts more aligned than maybe a kid does. Or these, I think a lot of these Roblox games are made not by little kids, but by young kids, teenagers, early
See,
20s, right?
I think that's definitely true. I think that might make a good bulk of it, but where money motivation comes in, because let's not sell these kids short. One of the
Oh,
richest content creators on YouTube is I Show Speed, Twitch and YouTube. He, I think, is 19 or just turned 20. That means he's been going, and I think he's been going for maybe 4 years.
I didn't mean to imply that the
So,
there's no money motivation there.
but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, because he's money motivated, and since money is his motivation, that's why he's always in some kind of fucking scandal.
Right.
I don't find him entertaining at all, but that's why he's always in some kind of fucking scandal. Right now, his current scandal is he's been copyright claiming people.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
like, dude, you just got out of trouble with crypto scammers, and now here you are pulling some bullshit.
Yeah.
But regardless, why I brought that up is because my question to you is, what is your definition of targeting? Because again, there are games on Roblox. A lot of games on Roblox, most of the popular ones, are not kid friendly. A lot of them have to do with jail and prison.
They're not kid
A lot
friendly,
of them
but they're
have to.
still played by kids. I mean, overall,
No, they're played by kids, but are they necessarily supposedly I guess
okay.
they are targeting them, just like kids things on YouTube where they're not appropriate, but they target them. I can see that.
Maybe they're making that game not with having little kids in mind, but how can they not though? They know that
I think
the majority
whole program is made to prey on
right.
kids.
The
So
majority
you're
of the
right, you're right.
platform is kids. So if you're making a game for Roblox, you're inherently making a game for kids because
No,
that's
you're
the
absolutely
platform.
right. I see where my deficiency in thought was.
Yeah, so I mean that's a whole nother problem with these creators that make these creepy games with these like scary things built in. Like I don't know what the motivation is between that. Like I'm gonna make this game that has these creepy and scary elements for kids. Maybe they're just like older kids that just really are like think it's fun, and then younger kids are
creepy and
playing
scary
them.
for kids is fine. Creepy and scary for kids is just fine. Because guess what? The prime time to kind of scare people are when they're younger. Because the world's bigger and scarier at that point.
Well, I think we've talked about like when I think I've said before, when I was a kid, I was such a little wuss, I was scared of everything. And my daughter she just loves creepy. When she was 2, she loved Halloween. Year round, it was Halloween because she liked the creepy stuff. And she still likes creepy stuff. I see her watch videos with like just creepy, not like really bad scary urban legends, but like just kind of creepy urban legends of like haunted houses
my daughter's
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
she totally digs it, and that shit would have scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. It really would have. It did. I mean, not would have. It did. So, and I think I've told you, I had a conversation with her once, and I was like, it's so weird that you like that stuff. I would have think you would have nightmares, and she's like, oh, I do. But she's just like, but
it scares me, but I like it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I do have nightmares sometimes, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying it. Whereas
I think there's something psychological. We need that.
Yeah, there has to be. But anyway, yeah, and back to your monetization stuff with YouTube, it's different too because you have to live within the monetary algorithm and the rules, which and so I'm sure you could see that when it goes from being a passion project to I can make money off of this. Now I have to adhere to all these rules where I can't do this and that and put this, all those videos where my kids watch those videos of people playing games and they'll never say they died or were killed in the game. It's always they were oofed. That's what they always have to say.
Yeah.
I think to get around the rules where they can't talk about being killed or dying or whatever it may be based on, the standards, but I don't know. So it's different. And like we said, I don't think Roblox has any oversight to that to say like, okay, you'll be demonetized if you do this or that. There's nothing that.
And there are some that are really cool. Like my son, he usually gravitates to more cute games which is funny because, he loves Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. But when he plays Roblox, creepy stuff doesn't entertain him. He likes cute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was playing like this cute penguin game, yet it's actually about being a penguin trying to get away from getting eaten by a shark, which I realize most games in Roblox are either hide and seek, obstacle course, or role play of some hospital-y role play, which some of those thumbnails fucking gross as shit.
I know.
Like, I don't get it. And it all reminds me of like the kids section in YouTube. I can't stop mirroring that.
It's
When you
very
see, like,
similar.
pregnant Elsa.
Yeah.
Like, Roblox is like the same fucking gross people making
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Which brings me to, like, what we were talking about, the security of Roblox, because I make it where they can't chat with people
Right.
unless they're on Facebook Messenger kids with their cousins or each other or talking to each other. They can't
I
chat
did
with
that.
people.
My daughter figured out how to get around that
How to
within
get around it?
like a week. She was like, "Oh, I turned the chat back on. It was off." And I was like, "Wait, no, I did. It's intentional."
I'm happy my daughter's lazy and doesn't like typing with her fingers. She uses voice to text.
So does my daughter.
Because
Yeah.
she did get around it. Like, you know what? Last week I found out she got around it.
Yeah, same thing.
And so I had to, so we can hear her what she's saying.
Right. Yes, which is good. Yeah, same thing.
So
I
I
thought
was
about
like,
that too because she kept doing voice typing. There was one day where she was trying to do it and it kept not hearing her properly, and I was like, "Just type it in." And I was like, "Wait, no. It's good that you continue to say it out loud." Yeah, and that I mean, I monitor what she's doing to the extent that I can, and I check back, and
Yeah.
I know she's not because she knows better. But like my son, I don't think would necessarily
my
know
son,
better.
Yeah, luckily, I don't know about your son, but mine, he has no interest in talking to people. Like, in a game. Unless they're right next to him,
No,
he has no interest in
he doesn't
talking
either.
to
Like,
them.
he doesn't either. Not like my daughter, where she like, especially with the
They're
role playing
social.
games, where like they kind of need to communicate and be like, like, "Oh, I need food. I'm the baby," or whatever. That stupid
Which I hate
fucking
so
game.
much that I'm gonna have to get your daughter's information or exchange information with you so they can play with
I
together.
didn't realize we didn't do that already.
I thought we did, but I don't think we do either.
That makes no
Sounds
sense.
bizarre, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense. How does that not come up already?
But then again, it
Yeah,
could
okay.
happen because randomly a kid will get kicked out of an account. There's no way to save or to fix it, and my daughter might be on a new account for all we know.
Yeah,
and it could have been another account that you were attached on.
That's
but
true.
They don't play together, and they want to. At least my daughter wants.
Oh
to
no,
play
absolutely.
with yours,
She prefers to be playing with one of her friends. She likes playing with somebody much more than if she was doing by herself.
Because
we'll do it when we're done.
I don't want her playing with her cousins all the time because her cousins like to bully her.
Yeah.
Because they're older. Some of them are older. And
I worry about that.
Instead of playing with them, they just like, well, you got to stay in jail because you're the newest person here. Like, are you hazing? We're not hazing. We're not doing that.
To a degree, yeah. It's the
I
same.
mean, kids do that. That's fine. But
my daughter
they'll have her in jail the whole 3 hours.
Oh, the whole game. My daughter has one friend. She only has a few friends on there because I obviously have to approve any friends that are on there. I won't let her add them herself. But one is a couple years older than her. I think she's like 4 or 5 years older because my brother's niece and nephew or whatever they are. So she knows her through, like, they've hung out a few times. But same thing, like, there's been a couple times where she's played with her and a couple of her friends. And I was like, yeah, I feel like maybe they're being, not bullying, but just like taking advantage of her, the fact that she's younger.
Yeah. One of her cousins is a mean girl, like naturally a mean girl. She just, if she gets a crowd, she needs to be the center of it and she needs to command and tell everybody what to do. And unfortunately, that brings the worst out in my daughter.
Yeah.
And then they'll either fight or they'll team up and be the worst child ever. But like with the oldest girl, she is a rules lawyer. And they listen to her, but she's not fair.
Yeah.
Because she's like 12.
Right. Well, she's going to take advantage of her her authority if she can.
Exactly.
That's what any 12-year-old's
and she's going to side
do.
with her sisters before she sides with her cousins. Right. So, and then my daughter's now crying to me, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to play Roblox. Why are you making me do this? Just so they'll be nicer to you. Don't play with them.
No, absolutely.
Maybe like they want to play with you, but if they want to treat you like that, don't let them keep you to be a doormat.
Maybe I just need to get her and both of them like a different game that they can play with their friends. It's not Roblox. It's just not.
Well, I mean, she also plays Minecraft, but I realize like I feel again, I like Minecraft for what it is, and it does calm them. but they don't actually play the game. They just
No, they
kind
just
of
build.
argue and build stuff.
Yeah, that's all. My daughter never actually played the game. She would just build stuff, and she was so good at it. Like when she when she was young, I couldn't believe. Like I'm like, how do you do this? You're like 3, and you're building
my
stuff.
daughter.
In Minecraft.
Yep, she drives. She impresses me with what she builds.
Yeah, it's
my
crazy.
son builds more along the lines of what I think a kid that age would
right.
build.
Must
He
be a
builds
son
garbage.
thing.
Yeah, he like digs a hole, makes the room just big enough for a single bed, and then like wang jangles blocks everywhere.
Yeah.
And then gets upset when he puts a wolf, a cat, a chicken, a lamb all into one gate together, and then the wolf just eats them all. He starts crying over it. Like, okay. Stuff like that.
Buddy, the wolf's gonna eat the other animals. This is the way it goes.
You got to keep them separate.
It's a
but
circle
I don't
of life.
want them separate. Then he's gonna eat them.
Wolves
I'm
aren't
sorry
friendly,
to
man.
tell you.
They're not friendly. It's just not the way they
But he
roll.
likes me. It's like, because you're the player.
I forgot for half a second, but back to Mr. Beast quick. Did you see the whole thing with the video he put out with making 1,000 blind people see again?
No, and
you didn't see anything about it?
No, I just heard that Mr. Beast got in trouble again.
Yeah, he put out a video where essentially he paid for 1,000 people to have some sort of surgery that they were blind or non-sighted people, whatever the fuck you're supposed to say.
The unsighted. It sounds like a M. Night Shyamalan.
That was probably his first problem because I think he wrote blind people, so I'm sure he got shit about that.
Is that offensive now?
Yeah, apparently. I don't see why, but
what?
Yeah, but here's.
How is that offensive?
All right, let's harken back because you're giving them a label. You're labeling them as not
human.
humans.
We label everything.
They're not normal. You're labeling them as not people. They have to be non-sighted people.
They are people. They are blind people.
I know, dude.
I am a black people. Am I going to be offended by being called? What the fuck?
I don't disagree with you.
Jesus Christ.
I am a bald people. You can call me that.
We are bald people.
We are bald people. I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to understand those things. I just try to do what I'm supposed to socially responsible.
But I can't tell if that's right.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Anyway.
Because there's so. Oh, I'm sorry. I am.
So
go on.
I'm just gonna. I was kind of being facetious when I said that. But I don't actually intend to not use the word blind. I think it's okay. But he put out a video where he paid for like 1,000 people who were some degree of blind. I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
couldn't see
various degrees of blindness
to have surgery. So they could see, and I guess it was like $3,000 per surgery, something like $3,500 or something.
Oh, wow!
So he paid for 1,000. So it was, $3.5 million or something like that. He must have spent, and then made a video. So it's like it's. I guess he's getting in trouble because he's, multiple things. I guess one taking advantage of this stuff for people for content, but at the same time, it's like,
that's his whole career. His whole career is literally, I do this nice thing
and I put it on YouTube
and I televise it. I put it up so people can see me do this nice thing, and I still make money, so I can keep doing that.
Well,
it's fake altruism. We know that,
but I think it's a case of the ends do justify the means, right? Like, okay, fine, he makes more money.
It helped people,
which he claims he's putting back. He puts all the money right back into the channel, right? He doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. He has to.
Yeah,
he has to
keep up, right?
There's I don't care if he gets 3 million and only keeps 1 million. Fine, he needs to eat.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he's definitely eating really well,
right?
But that money still has to go back into him spending money on other people,
right? Because that's his whole shtick.
I mean, what is he? He's just a rich guy who gives money away randomly, right?
Right.
Is that his whole shtick?
That's essentially it. Yeah, he just gives tons of money or really high ticket like Lamborghinis or whatever away to people and makes videos about it.
Like there is that's a deficiency on the people who watch him if they really think he is just a super nice guy. He might be a nice guy, but he's also a nice guy for profit.
Right. Which, again, who cares?
Which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Who cares?
We're okay with other bullshit.
Yeah, I don't care. If that means 1,000 people get to have their eyesight restored, I don't care if he made money and made, video content off of it. If the people that were in the video were okay. If they said, yeah, sure, I'll be in your video. If he was exploiting the people, it'd be one thing. But if they're like, yeah, sure, you can put me in the video. I mean, put
me in the video. I just want to see again.
The thumbnail is like this kid with like bandages and is like, and it's like blind people can see again. And it's like really ridiculous. The thumbnail is like, come on, dude, do better. Like make a better thumbnail.
Goddamn moralists.
But that wasn't even my problem. The first thing I thought of was like, wait a minute. All these people just needed a $3,500 surgery to be able to see.
It sounds like a little to be able to see,
Yeah,
right?
and they couldn't.
I was thinking that too.
And they couldn't
like, that
get
sounds like
it?
a little bit of money.
Like,
a very small amount of money.
That sounds like the problem to me. They only needed this $3,500 surgery to be able to see, and they couldn't afford to get it. Like
are they a specific? They had to be a specific type of.
Maybe
blind.
I didn't watch the video because I didn't fucking feel like it. but I was like, come on,
maybe
man.
they just can't see like the color orange.
I don't know. But I'm like,
cataracts, like something physically.
That seems to be more the problem to me. Like these fucking people only needed this little surgery to be able to see, and they couldn't afford to get it done. Fuck. And how is that less than LASIK?
and I'm just gonna be real with you. Put me on a fucking video to help me see better.
Yeah, I'll go get LASIK if you put it in a video. I'm fine with that. I just don't want to spend the money on it.
You just paid a whole bunch of money for something that I need.
Yeah.
And just okay, fine. You can make money. I don't need the proceeds. You paid for. I don't have to. Medical bills not going to come up later on.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah. The only thing I could think that anybody could have an issue with
Mr. Beast. I don't give a shit
about him.
I
don't either. But the only thing I could see that would be an issue is if it was exploitative, whatever the word is. You know, and actually
to what degree? Because
I mean,
all media is exploited.
Non-consensual.
That's what I'm saying.
Non-consensual.
Okay, non-consensual.
Where they just they did not want to be in this video and they were desperate. Like if they were all like, cool, no problem, I'll do it. I mean, I guess you could argue that they were being exploited because if they couldn't afford to get the surgery on their own, they didn't have a choice but to go through with this. I don't know, but it's just
they could be put into an ultimatum. Is very possible, but again, they want to be able to see. He wants to put him in the video or he's not going to do it. You then make the choice if your pride is more than your ability to see.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean,
now,
not
that.
Sorry, go ahead. You finish your
well, because I'm just saying the idea is we're mad at this person but we're missing the point that money, the actual exchange of money, the need for money to save this person or to make their quality of life better is the problem.
Yeah.
We're not putting the blame on the medical field making surgery super expensive.
Right.
We're not, because I doubt the amount of resources to fix it, and maybe, again, I don't know, would be that much if that's the case, if this man can make money off of doing this for so many X amount of people.
Right.
The fact that there's no type of coverage system or anything for them. Money is the problem here.
Sure.
He wouldn't exist if that was the case. But now we're getting mad at the devil for being the devil.
Yeah, more or less.
Because in a scenario that we created.
It's just another situation. I mean, it seems to be a recurring theme for me is just getting annoyed by people getting mad about something that it's just like, why are you mad about this? Like, find something better to be mad about.
Yeah.
Like, go find something good, like reasonable to be mad about. Be mad that the people couldn't afford the surgery. Don't be mad at the guy for giving it to them.
I want these people who feel this way to keep that righteous indignation and that anger when they need a surgery that they can't afford and some rich asshole comes up and says, hey, I will pay for it for you. All you have to do is be in this 20-minute video.
Yeah.
I want them to keep that same energy. Keep that same fucking energy going, well, my dick don't work. He'll pay to fix it. But fuck him. Fuck being able to fucking pee and get hard. I don't give a shit. Like... Oh my god. Yeah, keep that energy. I
don't know. It's just find something else to be mad about. Like whatever. Who cares? Let the guy let it happen. If everybody agreed to it, who cares? Yeah. And also, I mean, he couldn't possibly have featured all 1,000 people in his video, right? So I'm sure there were just cherry picked, the best stories or something to be actually in the video.
I really doubt he sat in 1,000. Like he sent crews to 1,000.
Of course not.
Because remember, you have to pay the people who record it, to pay the people who edit it, pay the fucking thing and the bills.
Right. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
Like 1,000, mind you, with surgeries, you're taking 1,000 chances for something to go wrong. Like there's a chance each time,
of course,
for something to go wrong. That means if something goes wrong, who's covering that?
Yeah, you're fucked if something goes wrong, buddy.
That's 1,000 contracts. Like there's 1,000 meetings, 1,000 conversations. I think 1,000 is definitely not real. If he really did it, fine. But that just sounds insane to me.
Yeah, I guess it could be inflated. It would have to be based on what you're saying. all that makes sense. I don't know how it could possibly.
Like, it just sounds
It's a lot of
absolutely
work.
insane.
A lot of work, lot. You said a
For
lot of
how much
liability.
money would he actually make for that video?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And-
I mean, YouTube's
I'm
kind of
just saying.
weird with their CPMs. It's hard to tell exactly.
I mean,
know,
great.
what anything
Use
you
the
get.
negative publicity to have people watch your video. Because I never wanted to watch the video when I saw the thumbnail of it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't pay attention because once it says Mr. Beast, I'm like, I don't give a shit. But now that we had this conversation, there's a chance that maybe sometime in the future, I want to see it. Or even that, my phone's going to hear me and fucking bring the video up.
Oh, it will. What was I doing the other day over the weekend? I was sitting in my chair and we were talking about, my my daughter it was right when she was still kind of not feeling, didn't have much of an appetite, and she asked for mashed potatoes. And I was like, all right, my wife was like, all right, run out and get some mashed potatoes or something. Literally 2 hours later, I got in my feed a thing about instant mashed potatoes on my Google feed. I was like, come on, you can't tell me it's not listening to me. You can't tell me. It's just, there's no way.
This is beyond the questioning if it does. We know it does.
Yeah, that's true. And yet nobody does anything. Nobody does anything about it.
What is there to do? What is there to do?
Yeah, well, we're just going to not use it anymore.
Like, nobody, we're all going to fucking do it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And they know that, so they don't give a shit.
No, you're right. They don't give a shit. They know that we're going to use it anyway. I kind of like that. Well, again, we'll talk about ChatGPT in another episode, but I kind of like that. Like, Google's really scared of it now because they're like, oh God, we've kind of been putting all our marbles in this, or all our eggs in this basket.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
And
but...
of this AI-driven, search and assistant technology, and somebody just came up with a way better model of how that works. Well, it's different.
They're probably going to try to buy this person out.
No, because Microsoft is backing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So right now, Google is like in panic mode. They put out an email to all their employees that they're going to be dog food testing, which is their beta testing, their kind of competitor that they've been working on for a while, because they realized
saw the video on it.
They're like, we can't like take our time now because there's this major competitor that's kicking our ass. It's different though. Like if you look at Google's assistant,
I saw their AI, the Google AI. No, I saw the Google AI.
The Lambda
thing. I don't know what it's called, but I know they have a video. There. They have a video one, like it's connected to like they show like their video AI that's supposed to be like Mid-Journey.
Oh, okay.
And it's also
that might be different.
Typing AI. It's supposed to be
maybe it's all
encompassing AI nonsense.
Well, it's crazy because now they've got content generating AI. They've got graphic and photo generating AI. I was looking at. I got an email because I get all these. My developer email gets them all the time, of a music one where you can put in the melody and it'll generate the backing music for the tracks. It's just crazy. But yeah, now Google's in scramble mode. It's different though. Like their assistant AI is conversational and more essentially like it's an assistant. It's a butler. Yeah. It's driven by that, where ChatGPT is more content driven. Like, all right, give me information about this. Where Google's
the fact that it critiqued your prompt,
it's crazy.
That was kind of like interesting that it critiqued your prompt.
Yeah, I'll get into some of the stuff I did with it on the next episode, because I've asked it to do some crazy stuff, and I can't believe the shit it's able to do. It's scary. I mean, it legitimately scares me. I'm like, how?
If Google ever does push this thing, it should definitely say, from all the content we've been taking from you, we're giving it back.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. It's frightening. It scares the shit out of me. A few years ago, it was when Yang was running for president. What was that, 2020?
Oh, yeah, wow.
2016. He was 2016, right? Or was it 2020?
Whenever Biden took office.
Yeah, okay.
I don't fucking know.
Because his whole platform was like, AI is going to take over and take our jobs because all the trucks are going to drive themselves. And I was like, no, that's not happening anytime soon. In fact, I went and I read a whole book. It's called Rebooting AI. I can't think of the name of the author, but it's a whole book about AI and how shitty AI is at actually doing regular everyday tasks. They're like, the book is like, you can't program a robot to just go clean up your house. It's just too stupid. They're not sophisticated enough. So the idea that we're going to be able to have AI robots taking over physical jobs like that is just not. It's just not possible in the near future. maybe in the distant future, but it's just not there. They're not going to be, they don't have it to the point where it's going to take over those jobs. But it's not going to take over those jobs. It's going to take over the creative and more thought-provoking.
We're going to be doing those jobs in the creative shit.
There we go. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to put it the right way. Not, we thought it was going to be these physical jobs. People driving cars and working in factories. No. It looks like it's going to take all the jobs of people working at a desk,
Well, here's the thing, and I find it really funny where AI is concerned with that, is that, self-driving trucks, and everybody's worried about that shit. And my only thought is, we already have AI news anchors. We already have AI articles.
Sure.
My sister and I play a game where we'll go on to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, not IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't look at the site for anything real. Actually, the last time I went on the site was to look at the reviews for Velma. And,
oh, man. We should talk about that, too, because I was looking into that. Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I was looking into all the hate.
Oh, God. Velma is really bad.
Did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of the first episode.
Okay. All right. Finish your other thought.
Yeah. So I was looking at that, and we play a game where we look at a random movie or a show, and we look at the article, the little short blurb articles from critics and audiences, and try to tell which one sounds like an AI generated article. Because a lot of them do. Yeah. And a lot of them don't make a lot of sense. There's stuff for Avatar: The Way of Water, which sounds like an actual sequel to the Avatar: The Last Airbender. But anyway,
you're right.
It's a lot of them that praise the movie, which I don't think the movie's bad, but it's the same problem with the first one. It's just exists.
Yeah.
It sounds AI generated. They're very, very odd. So I would suggest anybody just look and read some of them. Well, and you can say, well, some of these people don't speak English. I'm like, some of these people don't speak human.
Well, that's part of the reason
really weird.
ChatGPT scares me so much is because I'm used to these AI models where, like you said, it's just something weird about it. And then this thing's generated content that has none of that. None of those markers that make you go,
it sounds professional.
It sounds like somebody legitimately came up, some really... Not even just some person, some pretty intelligent person was able to write these. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I swear to God that somebody was on the other end typing these out to me. It wasn't a computer doing it. I don't know. Velma, I didn't watch the show. I didn't really know much about it. I just saw the hate on Twitter and on YouTube, and I watched a couple clips. And obviously the clips videos I watched were curated, to make it look as stupid as possible. But some of the clips I watched, I was like, this really is bad.
No, because it was getting a lot of hate, and I wasn't rooting for it or against it. Anything new Scooby-Doo comes out, I just kind of on it. But one thing I do hate more than anything is self-flagellating or self-fellatiating or
either, yeah.
Media. I just can't stand it. And this show is so much of just Mindy blowing herself. Because this is a Mindy Kaling vehicle.
That's what I heard.
And Mindy Kaling already has been pissing me off a lot. When she first came out, it was she's funny, but I don't... There's something weird about her that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But she never really, really caught on. She was on Always Sunny a little bit. And I was just I liked her character in it. She was just Mindy Kaling.
Right.
But she was she was her character worked. And her and Dennis are friends. Her and Glenn Harrington, I'm guessing, are friends.
Okay.
Which Glenn is the only reason why I even suggested to watch Velma. Okay. Because he plays Freddy.
Right. He's the voice, right?
So I was okay, the voice cast, besides two of them, I like. I like the guy that plays Norville. I don't like him in in Velma, but I like him. Glenn Howerton, obviously. And there was another voice actor that I recognized that I liked.
I guess what I didn't understand about it was why if you're going to make this show with this plot, with these characters, why use a vehicle like Scooby-Doo for that? Why not just make it its own show?
Because it seems this is what it seems like. It seems like a show was pitched, it was denied, and then the producers say we need to attach some
intellectual property
to this.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
That's what happened.
But it's
Because
just-
there is so much contempt. Scooby-Doo is basically public domain.
Right. It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, if none of these characters have anything to do with Scooby-Doo aside from the appearance and the name, why use that as a vehicle? Why not just make it its own show? I feel like it was forced. Yeah, it must have been. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
It seems like it was forced.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And like so much, like the show will criticize something and then do that exact same thing. Like Velma will say something stupid.
In a meta way? Like trying to
Not
be meta?
even in a meta way. Like she'll go, cartoons like this are just usually gross and disgusting. And then a character will scoff, and then you'll see two roaches fucking.
Yeah, that's trying to be meta.
That's how the show works.
That's trying to be meta, but it's not.
But
it's not working. It's just stupid.
It would be meta if somebody made a quick comment, and then a little bit down the line, something happens, and somebody goes, I feel like this happened before. Or like it's not, it's so all the jokes are on the nose, and people just say what they feel like they're in a musical.
Okay. This reminds me of, we may have talked, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but we talked about it before that. What was that movie about the kids being exploited in a sexual manner? It was on Netflix. You remember this movie?
Oh, Cuties.
It's the same thing. It's like you're making this movie about these kids being exploited, but you're exploiting the kids to make the movie.
Exploiting them.
It's like, that doesn't work. You just look like an asshole. It's the same thing.
To which... So, speaking of Cuties real quick, I watch a show that I like, but I feel like the host has a lot of bad takes sometimes. The show called Some More News.
Okay.
It was an old College Humor guy. I think he was College Humor.
I don't think
he now has a new show, and I actually like the new show, but I criticize a lot of his takes, especially if it's about comedy.
Okay.
And he made a comment saying like everybody was outraged about Cuties when it was talked about, like, and then all of a sudden we find out that the movie's condemning the thing that it's talking about. It's like, yes, but there is a line, and you're clearly either skipping this or you missed out that there is a line to which something is a parody, a spoof, and is just doing the fucking thing.
Yes.
Cuties, unfortunately, is doing this is bad, and to show you that it's bad, we're gonna do it. Monty Python, I think it was The Life of Brian, clearly did the thing where the Catholic teacher was like, to show you that sex is bad, I'm gonna fuck the nun in front of you.
Life of Brian? I watched that recently.
Yeah, I think that was The Life of Brian.
I believe so, yeah.
And it was like, that right there, that's the joke.
Right.
Well, that how stupid that is to say, don't do this thing.
I'm gonna show you.
That's like, I'm gonna parents whoop their kids to give them a level of pain to say, don't stick your finger in the light socket. But you don't see a parent take the kid's finger, they are gonna poke the finger in the light socket anyway, but take the kid's finger and shove it in the light socket to show them that it's dangerous.
Right.
Like, they don't do that.
No, it doesn't make sense. Well, it's what you're saying with Velma. Like, if you're going to be like, this is dumb when cartoons or TV shows do this. Here, we're going to do this as a joke.
Yes. And talking about exploiting fucking children, the characters are about 16 years old in high school, and they're naked all the time in the show.
Oh, and when they made that joke,
hypersexualized,
right?
And naked.
When she makes that joke and they cut to the two roaches fucking, they expect you to laugh, right?
Yeah, it's
not like they're making the point and it's just supposed to sit. They're expecting you to laugh at the stupid thing they just pointed out was stupid and shouldn't be done. So it's not like they're just doing it for the hell of it or to make a point. They're clearly expecting to get the laugh out of it. I don't know. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, Mindy worked well as a writer on The Office, but she's a writer on The Office.
Right.
Not the head writer, not the controlling. Mindy, I think, is an executive producer and probably the head writer.
I'm sure, yeah. It's her show, so I don't know. I just watched
and
clips,
and mind you, not to mention, Mindy's character is Indian, obviously,
right?
Or I think Indian. I will assume that, and
if
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I believe there was a joke about, and she mentions that she's Indian in the Indian.
But they also mention how Daphne is Asian. I don't even think they specify. I haven't watched that.
Oh, she is?
What kind? Yeah, Daphne's Asian.
Oh, I couldn't tell from the cartoon.
But then they mention it. I'm like, Daphne's Asian, yes. Indian people are also
Asian, yeah.
Asian, just like Russians. They're Eurasia. It's Asian
Well,
Asiatic people.
we have a definition of Asian in our head that means a certain thing.
Yeah, they're Asiatic. It's for somebody who's woke enough to understand the difference. How did you miss that? How did you? Since you want to be specific about race culture, how did you see when you act as an expert on something like that, and you act like you aren't wrong about what you're saying? You have to be correct. I don't act like I'm an expert. I have an opinion. If it's wrong, I will fix it.
Yeah, no, agreed. That should be our motto.
If
we are not experts, we have opinions, and if we're wrong, we'll fix them.
But I'm not. I'm. But the show preaches at you about being wrong about things.
See, the clips I watched were really just bad jokes, so I didn't get I didn't get a lot of that. It was just really flat bad jokes.
Yeah,
it's just like that's not funny. Like, what are you
on
doing?
TikTok, there was like this guy, I guess he was on a podcast, which is like, it's great that, you know, we all talk about like the Little Mermaid and like we all had contention about that, but the whole black community came together and said, you didn't have to change Shaggy. Like, you didn't have to fucking do that. We don't want him.
Is he still a pothead in the show? Because now you're just...
No, he's straight edge. He hates
he's straight
any
edge?
kind of drug. He hates all drugs.
Well, they had to do that.
What I'm assuming this show is, and I think this is where they're going. This is a prequel.
Well, people
This is a prequel.
Oh, well, okay. He's going to turn
This is the way it looks like they're going is that it's a prequel to what happens. So Shaggy eventually will something will happen where he's forced to take drugs.
Yeah.
And he befriends a dog because he's thinking about getting a dog.
Oh, I saw one joke where they were given an acronym for something, and she's like SCOOBI, Scooby. Well, what does Scooby do? And I was like, oh, it's such a bad joke. It's so bad.
So I feel like this is what the show is, because Daphne's like a rich girl, but she becomes less of a bitch. Okay. Even though she has like two moms, like her moms are like detective lesbians.
Oh, how woke of them.
But they're like the worst cops ever, apparently.
No, not woke.
Fred is
not woke anymore.
Fred is so rich and spoiled that he's a moron, and I mean an advanced moron. Like, he's so stupid that he's in trial for murder. Almost got off, but got so offended by how stupid they said he was that he made himself look like he was a psycho killer.
It's so stupid.
And so the court of public opinion got him in jail. It's just badly written and convoluted. I think it's just badly written. And that's not saying anything about the animators, because the animation is amazing.
Yeah, the animation
looked actually good.
Yeah, it looked good.
But the writing is bad and way too self-indulgent.
Well, that's going to turn off people, in almost... Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, Horsecock nunchuks. I know you might not want to write that in the search, but the Horsecock nunchuks is a thing a man with a very amazingly epic voice says. Go look at that up on TikTok.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. It was really funny, but I just love the idea of Horsecock nunchuks.
But before we go, last thing I have to mention about Mindy Kaling specifically that I heard yesterday was that, and I don't know how long ago this happened, Mindy Kaling's brother got in trouble.
Okay. Because
he wanted to be, I guess, a doctor, or something. And to get into a certain school, he posed as being black.
What? Why? He's already a minority.
So I guess
is it like a affirmative action
people
thing?
Of Indian descent make up a large amount of doctors.
Yes.
The school wasn't taking him, so he posed being black. To the point that he shaved his head. He shaved his head because he had straight hair.
What did he?
And he said he was black, and he doesn't look black. He's just very dark skinned, like Mindy. He looks like Mindy.
Yeah.
And she disowned him. Apparently, she openly disowned him.
That's funny.
But what's so funny about it is, one, bitch, you disowned your brother because he tried to shirk the system. And me, the only way I can imagine that he forced people into thinking he was black is by tricking uncomfortable white people who wanted to question because he doesn't have the right features, but they were too scared to say something and coming off racist.
Yeah, that's totally
like, shit, you know what? Just let him go. Just let him go.
I could see him sitting there and they're like, shut. No, we're good. We're good. We're all done here.
Frank.
But he look. No,
But
stop.
he doesn't. That's the only way I see that working.
Yeah, there's no other way.
Hilarious to me.
You're right.
And they should make a show or a movie about that shit.
Well, I mean, like, good for him for taking advantage of awkward white people.
I mean, it could have been black people if he fooled. I can't imagine that he fooled anybody because he just shaved his head. Look up his brother. He doesn't look black. He's just dark skinned.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I just want to give a quick. Speaking of Asian and Indian people, my buddy Sandy, who lives in India, he's having 2 tumors removed from his mouth tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in his jaw. So I don't know if he listens to this, but if he does, I just want to give him a shout out. Say, I love you, brother. And I hope everything goes well tomorrow.
Good luck on the surgery. Hopefully you heal up quickly.
Yep. Crazy thing.
That's definitely no fun.
Yeah, it's he showed me the x-rays. It's nuts.
Is it like in the jawline?
Yeah, like in his jaw. He had jaw pain. Went to the dentist, to the doctor. He told me like a couple weeks, he's like, yeah, I'm having some tooth pain. And they went to the dentist, and then they were like, "Oh, yeah, you got 2 tumors in your jaw." So like they're just like he sent me an X-ray. There's just these like globs like right here. You can see.
I can only imagine if it's not noticeable. If it wasn't like noticeable, it was just painful.
It must not have been. Yeah.
That luckily he probably caught that really early.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping he goes and gets to take care of and everything works out well.
Well, definitely, I would like to get an update.
Yeah, I'll
like I know.
He's obviously on a completely different time zone. So I was like,
yeah,
listen,
well, no, you'll get an update.
I was like, you gotta add everybody. I was like, I don't
like people.
You gotta let me know how things are going. And I was like, I want to know like right away. So like whoever's gonna be there with you, give my number and just have them text me and let me know, everything's okay. Cause it's just scary thing to think about, to have something like that go on such a young. He's younger than me. He was a couple years younger than me. So it's hopefully everything works out well and he's good to go. And I told him, just take your time and recover after the surgery and get well soon. He's a workaholic. He's a hard worker, and I'm hoping he just takes the time to get better. Yeah, it was a dark note to end things.
No, that wasn't. That
Horsecock
was
nunchucks, buddy.
That was super supportive.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm worried about him. I want to make sure. I want him to be okay.
Horsecock
nunchucks, everybody. Can't be funnier
than
truck nuts,
truck shaft, and horsecock nunchucks.
I could 3D print those. I've been 3D printing a lot lately.
Oh my god!
You see my moon?
Shaft?
I sent you the moon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I got to make the truck shaft. I got to figure out how to do it though. Like I want to make sure they attach to the ball so you can have the full unit on your truck if you want.
What you would have to do is you would have to make a skeleton so it moves.
Oh yeah,
and then maybe get a latex sleeve or some type of like
there you go
to put it on.
Yeah, I could figure that out. Yeah, I mean they've got like you could 3D print dildos and stuff.
Dude, which is about to say 3D print a dildo.
It's weird to me that somebody would 3D.
Well, no, because I want it to move a very specific way.
Yeah, it's got to have that wobble.
Rigid.
It's got to have that like rubber pencil wobble to it.
Like it doesn't move too much. There's a ratio of movement that you need to make.
It's like semi flaccid, semi hard. It's got to be like right in the middle, kind of. It doesn't like hanging down, but still kind of rigid.
Just imagine an 18-wheeler. There's 2 mud flaps. The left mud flap says nut 1. The right mud flap says nut 2. And then there's a shaft that falls like right underneath it.
Flops on the ground.
Wobbles from side to side. Just right above the ground.
Right above the ground.
Like it just right above. Like it never hits and it just wobbles from side to side.
This morning I dropped the kids off at the bus stop and this truck comes whipping past me up the road. And it's got a trailer on the back, and then like I guess this metal table was in the trailer and fell out, but the metal table is just hanging on the side, face down, so the table's on the pavement, just dragging on the road, sparking, going, ding, 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 ding. And like the neighbor at the bus stop with me was like, what the fuck was that? It's like he had to see and hear that, right? It's like just didn't bother stopping, just driving down the road. Dragging a metal table.
Home Alabama.
Maybe he had music blasted or something. I was laughing. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? He's
sparks flying off. Jackie Chan lands on it, kicks the guy, flips off.
It was fucking weird. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He did not notice that. And I mean, he's driving up our road, which is a dead end, so I don't know if he's one of our neighbors. I didn't recognize the truck. I don't know.
Just imagine the reaction when you get out of the truck and you notice that you just fucking destroyed your table.
I a couple months ago in the winter, I had pulled the car out and it was in the garage, and I must have run over a couple toys, and they were under my car. I was driving down the road hearing this noise. I was like, oh, fuck, car's broken. No, got out. There's a couple toys under the front of the car. I was pushing along. It was a scooter and like a soccer net, little tiny soccer net.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was bad. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Again, our new website's live, atiwihy.com. You can check that out. You can send us an email there. Give us a show idea if you got one. We would love to get some listener mail. I know you guys are listening because I could see the analytics. So we got some people listening, but send us a message.
If we get suggestions, we promise we will stick on topic.
Yes. I mean, well, look.
No, because that would be an incentive, at least for me, to shut the fuck up.
Let's be fair. We stay on topic for like 30, 45 minutes, which is the length of a normal podcast. We just record for 2 hours at a time, and it's really fucking long. And I should look at the analytics of listening of how many people download the whole thing. I don't know if they have that. Probably by the tail end, people are just like, fuck these guys. They talk too much. All right, everybody.
Car ride's over.
Car ride's over. Time to get out. I mean, if you're driving on vacation or something, I guess you got something to listen to. But thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Horsecock nunchuks.